Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You are tuned in to latest episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. We are here. This is episode number 11. If you are joining us on the YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. If you are joining us on the Apple or Spotify, please be sure to add us to your library. For everybody that is tapping in with us, we do greatly appreciate you. Greatly appreciate y'all tapping in with these conversations. We here. I'm your host, Nico. I'm joined with my fellow co-host today, my brothers. Ray, what's going on?
And blessed and highly favored. Gonna continue to try to be.
As always, brother, what's going on, F?
Nothing much, man. Doing great, doing great. Can't complain about yourself.
Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Got a lot to get into today, but we're gonna start with a segment. We adding things to the show, you guys. We trying to get a real production going around here, man. So we're gonna start off with a segment. This is called Keep It Clean. Each member gonna have 1 minute to keep it clean about whatever they want for the week. Who would like to start?
I'll go ahead and get it started because mine may not even be a minute long, but I'm gonna go
All
ahead
right,
and get it started here though.
let me go. Let me get the timer going. Hold on. And all right, let's do it.
All right, my keep it clean is honestly delayed gratification is a win for everybody involved. All right, run your race. Stop. Comparison is the thief of joy. All right. I've seen a lot of things in the week, either with social media or with peers, just in conversations being had. And comparison is the thief of joy. All right. Run your race. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to rush greatness. Stop trying to cut corners. 'Cause when you cut corners, you end up lacking some knowledge, some experience in certain places, and you end up losing out on some valuable things and insight that you could be gaining. So that's really my keep it clean. I'm gonna cut it short just with that. Stop rushing the process. Stay with yours. Run your race. You know what I'm saying? Stop comparing yourself to others because of what you see and what you aspire to have. Keep it clean.
I respect that. I love that.
Oh, real
Hey,
smooth.
Nick, I'm not gonna hold you. We're gonna keep it clean really quick. That bullet had some names on that. I don't know who it was, but I know someone that got some good news, and I know somebody that tried to hate on his good news. You could just see that one had
No,
that one had some
no, no,
invisible
no,
ink.
My man
no,
said,
no, no,
He said,
no.
hey, I felt your hate, and I'm gonna respond to
he said,
it.
I seen you. I seen you. You think I ain't see you, but I seen you. And I'm gonna let you know that I seen you. So you know that I know that you know. I seen you. It's all good. It's
Hey
all
man,
good.
I love that, man. Great message
Nah, for
and a
sure.
great impact. Someone's chest just got caved in.
Bing bop boom. Boom boom bop
You
bam.
feel me?
And this is the
Ooh,
thing.
man.
We're gonna say this too before we continue. That's a blanket statement. If anybody feels
Yeah,
attacked
clean
by
it up.
that,
Yeah, go ahead,
please.
clean it up. Clean it up. Yeah, I like it.
No,
Yeah.
I said what I said, but if you feel attacked by it, then take it up with God.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, what you got for the
Mm.
week, brother?
Okay, man. I'm gonna go a little bit different. I'm gonna keep it clean. Hey, Saquon, let me come, let me come holler at you right quick, bro. Uh, I don't know if something about work-life balance doesn't make sense to you, but in your actual profession, I know you study film. If you just watched what happened to Patrick Mahomes, it would tell me that you should know you need to avoid whatever it is that you're possibly trying to walk into right now. Pat Mahomes was one of the most loved guys. He was a winner. And he did a bad Netflix series where he just kept saying dog really funny. Then his wife all of a sudden didn't know what his favorite meal was. Some tweets came up, and here he is as one of the most hated people and yet to have a scandal. Saquon, you were loved just a minute ago. Just a minute ago. You were hurdling backwards, running for a touchdown. You just got over New York hating on you. Study the film, bro. Study the film.
All
I like
right,
that.
for sure. Let me go ahead and get it going. I'm gonna keep it clean. Sometimes, more times than not, it is perfectly okay and fine to say, I don't know. I
Ooh.
don't know. I don't have enough information on this topic to actually have a productive conversation with you right now. What I can do is do some research and come back with the information that I did find, and then we can engage with one another. But at this present moment, I don't have enough information to actually engage with y'all in a way that's productive. Sometimes it's okay to say, I don't know. I'm gonna sit this one out, y'all, because I don't know about this. A lot of times the ego or your confidence or false confidence for that matter gets in the way of you saying, I don't know. And you end up just saying what you think. And if you're thinking, but you're not knowing and you ain't did the research to back it, you're gonna look crazy. So keep it clean with yourself. Sometimes it's cool to say, I don't know.
Mhm.
And y'all talking about me and my impact on what mine. That sounds like that
Oh
right
yeah.
there
Whoever,
sounds like
yeah, for sure. Whoever y'all
Hey,
look, I get into weekly debates with folks. Weekly,
hey.
on a weekly
So,
basis. So yeah.
hey,
If you one of them
we
people, hey, if you feel like it apply, go ahead and wrap it up, put the shirt on and wear it.
man,
Because that's for you.
I I genuinely, I genuinely would love for y'all that are listening to just every now and then, if not all the time, tap into the visuals because Nick looked copacetic, but what he was saying looked like this
yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
whole time,
Yeah.
finger pointed,
Mm-hmm.
forehead tapping.
Yeah.
Bro,
Poking your
man,
chest in.
Yeah.
Poking your chest
hey,
in.
that boy said, read a book, go outside, touch grass,
Go talk to
get
some
off your
other
phone.
people. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, bro, like it's certain rooms when you in certain situations, I might not be in turn to speak. It might be my turn to chill out and just take in what's going on and then go do my own research or go experience it myself and then come back and have that talk with y'all. Sometimes
Big
I don't
facts.
need to be the one talking every time, bro.
Big facts.
That's it. That's all. But that's our keep it clean segment for the week. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. How was y'all's week, man? What's going on? Who want to start?
Man, my week was great. Worked hard, worked heavy, worked long. Pause if indeed needed for that for people. You know how the people are. Um, but had some great news. I had got a offer for a new position with a company yesterday, so very
Yes, sir.
excited
Yes,
about
sir.
that. And
Congratulations, my brother.
thank you. And I'm gonna be transparent in this moment. This is one of the first moments where I get to really mull on the decision. Like, do I really want it or not? Because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't apply for this job. I wasn't even looking to make a move or nothing. It kind of just a situation that reached out. I honestly was just trying to sharpen my interview skills. I went into this
Mm,
motherfucker just trying to see what my skill like because I ain't interviewed in a while. Like, because that's what you gotta keep up
Hmm. Yeah.
with the skill set in that because that is a skill set in itself. And went into it and went into I made a tweet about it. I was like, I'm about to go waste these folks' time with an interview for a job I don't even want. And lo and
mm.
behold, we're here. And it's like, oh crap, I got it. So now I have to really mull on the decision, and it's a blessing to be in that position,
Yeah.
to
Sure.
have that. But I'm still going back and forth in my head of do I really want to do it or not? Like I've been ignoring. They've been like, hey, can you send us the information we need so we can ship your laptop? I've been
Yeah.
ignoring
They ain't
them, bro.
playing with you.
I got like 8 missed calls. I just been ignoring them. So, but my week been great, man. It's been a real good week for me. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations, man.
thank
That's
Love
dope.
that, man.
That's dope. Ray, how was your week, brother?
Man, the week was cool, man. We got to enjoy some playoff basketball. I think I appreciated that the most, just being able to sit down and have some moments to kick it, chop it up with the fellas about what's going on in the games. The group chats were obviously popping with
Crazy.
everything that was going on, man. I I had a dedicated work week too, multiple trips back and forth. I spent I think 26 hours on the road this
Ooh.
week.
you.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. 26 hours on the road, so I got a lot of windshield time. But I also got a big report that I've been looking forward to, man. Report due in a couple days where I do the presentation. There's some people that's gonna have some conversations, so I'm looking forward to it, man. And it's beneficial. I'm not saying that in a way to try to intimidate. It's more so it's beneficial to what we do and what we're trying to do at Keep It Clean. So while it's a work function, it translates to stuff that we've already talked about here. So I'm excited because it directly impacts the community that I participate in. Outside of that, man, it's the usual family stuff, man. As usual, I'm gonna also give a shout out Vince Staples for the dope hoodie. I always shout out our people and for all the dads out there, man, we've been having a lot of conversations about fathers recently. So for all the dads out there, I want to give y'all a shout out. Nobody too crazy, because we know what this work is like, and we know what happens to go on. You see the hat, man. Shout out to Dad Gang as well. They got some dope material over there. But yeah, man,
Sure.
that was it for my week.
For sure, man. My week was good. Work was smooth. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too hectic. Um, Highlight of my week was I went to the Grand National tour. I saw Kendrick and SZA this week. Um, Amazing show. Amazing show. I Kendrick is the GOAT for me personally, and this stamped it. Like, he was already the GOAT beforehand. This stamps it for me. Yeah, just being able to experience songs that I've listened to and have become a part of my life since I was a teenager, to like now be a grown adult and like finally see the man and hear the songs and with 1,000 other people at the same time. Like, yeah, man, that was an amazing show. Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to SZA. Shout out to whoever designed the stage. Shout out to the sets that they was putting together. Shout out to Dave Free. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all put on a great show. That was a great time. Probably one of the best shows I've been to. I've seen some of my GOATs live. I've seen Jay live, which was very crazy, by the way, very wild. But yeah, man,
Concerts
great,
always are, man.
crazy
Concerts always
show.
are.
Yeah, it was a crazy show. Crazy show. Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to SZA. Shout out to my week. Shout out to y'all's week. You know what I'm saying? We hope everybody that's listening had a great week as well, man. We're gonna go ahead and get to it.
And if you didn't have a great week, it's okay to tap in with us.
Facts.
It's okay to
That's a
tap
fact.
in with us, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Real quick before we get started with the topics, though, we got another segment. Hey, we got another one. Real quick. You missed the spot. So this is a segment where any of us where we had a take from a previous pod or anything where we kind of missed the spot on keeping that clean. So we just gonna go ahead and clean that up. Does anybody have you missed the spot this week?
What did I miss exactly? Ray, you got something? You go ahead.
Did I miss a spot? I may not say I missed a spot. What I want to do is open up the door to having better cleaning supplies, if you will.
Okay.
So we had put out a clip this past week, and we are in the process of working on how we clip things. We're learning. That's okay. We can keep it clean on that. And it's not so much what the actual clip was. I think it's more so just acknowledging there was a couple of comments, and I'll probably clip this part and tag you ladies just to open up the door for the conversation. But the goal about it is it highlighted something that I had said on we jump to conclusions and we tend to use certain terminology, and that's the end of the conversation. And my whole point was just trying to open the door for communication and understanding so we don't just always end up in the same group. So with that being said, me want to reemphasize that message of, instead of just jumping out the window and highlighting how something was incorrect, because there could be a clear misunderstanding, whether it be from my side or the other side. Let's have that talk. And I want to continue to try to keep it cleaner as best as I can. Y'all let me know, man. There's a lot of cleaner materials out there. If you got recommendations, please send them in. But there's just some follow-up to the video, and I want to make sure to tag those two people and then build that conversation. For anybody else that might have had any questions, comments, or concerns, tap in.
For sure. Yeah, facts. All of our ats are right here. I know they may not be the same on all of the platforms, but whatever platform you find this at on that you see, you can tap in with us. DMs is open, comments is open at Keep It Clean Pod on Instagram. We
Matter of
here
fact,
with
I
it.
think all of our ads are at minimum are Instagram ads.
Yeah, bro.
All of
Yeah.
these are at minimum are Instagram ads.
So off seeing Kendrick live, it was pretty fitting, right? Because this was like around the anniversary of the beef itself. I think one of the songs that dropped around this time. I think I saw him on Tuesday. But this weekend coming into Monday is like the full year anniversary of the end of the Kendrick versus Drake beef. Do we have a recap? Do y'all want to do a recap? Kendrick won, mopped him up, cleaned him up. Drake made a fool of himself for a year after the fact, in my book. And I'm kind of tired of it at this point, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. My recap would be, I would say Kendrick probably is now put on maybe the greatest 365-day run probably in rap. I know a lot of people say 50 Cent and things of that nature. I personally though say from the beginning of from Euphoria, we ain't even got to mention like that. From
Yeah. From
Euphoria to
Euphoria
now,
up. Yeah.
I would say I believe he may have just put on the greatest 365 days. And you know what? I'm gonna even say this. He's put on the most efficient 365 days of any
I
hip
could,
hop
yeah.
artist.
Yeah. I can see
Um,
that.
that man has not said the most words he said was in a Super Bowl halftime interview
That he had to do.
that he had to do. That's the most words he's publicly said about this. But he's had an album, a Super Bowl halftime performance, a very successful tour that has just started, and I'm gonna get into that a part of this recap. But
Mhm.
we're hearing every single dollar he makes after every show, so it is very successful. He's doing all this, and he ain't said a word, and he's putting on people from his state, lower artists that aren't known, and he's getting them success that they've never seen and helping them branch off into heights that they haven't ever seen. So I would say
Mm.
his efficiency has been Steph Curry like from
Mm.
the three
Mm.
for the
Mhm.
past year. So
Mhm.
that's my
Mhm.
recap. That he's balled out and
For sure.
continue it.
For sure. For sure. What you got, Ray?
Man, look, hell of a year. Right? I think my recap from it was him, and even to his credit, Drake both brought us something that we hadn't seen in rap and missed from the essence of it, that we hadn't genuinely seen to that type of magnitude in 20 years. So for a lot of people that didn't even grow up on what the original form of hip hop was, or just experiencing some of the original hip hop beefs, the back and forth, the trading it on record. I want to make that important. Trading the beefs on record. There might have been some tensions, but they went to wax first before it went anywhere else. So that hasn't been seen for a lot of other people. What I can say is, uh, I thought it'd be over, and I thought we wouldn't have to talk about it as much, but at the same time, I feel like there's a part two coming. I do.
Mm.
I feel like there's a part two coming. I can't really put a full rhyme or reason, but I do notice that there's a lot of media that's continuing the conversation for it.
Let me
And
let me just real quick.
I,
Drake. Drake. Leave him alone.
I think there's a part
Leave
two coming,
him
man.
alone.
And
Okay? Please. He just smacks you upside your head for a year. Leave him alone.
I
Please.
think there's a part two coming, man.
Have
I
we
don't
ever
know.
seen a domination in a rap beef like this?
No.
Because I personally I scored it a sweep. Did y'all score it a sweep?
Uh,
I don't. I might have scored it a sweep, but I don't think that's what consensus had it as it was
yeah.
going on. So if I think dominating might be a difficult word, because it didn't look like a clean sweep based on how it was going back and forth at certain points. There were, like, for example, there's songs that age better as time went along versus where the impact was when it first dropped, being Euphoria. Some people really loved it, then some people it was still
What you
enough
mean?
because of what the way that push-ups hit, and was a bounce. It was a clash of someone rapping versus the hit song, and the hit song was getting a little bit more momentum. He had two back to back. So what I'm saying is, in that time, it didn't look like a dominating performance. There were songs that ended up hitting better. Family Matters was great for 36 minutes. People felt Family Matters was
But
also better. Hold on,
that's
what I'm saying is, people
yeah.
also felt Family Matters was better than the other track. I'm not saying that's how everybody felt. I agree
Mm.
with you. I thought it was a clean sweep. It's hard to say that it was a dominating performance, because as it was going on, at least during the record time, during when the records were dropping, it was debatable until a final knockout hit. Right, to some people, that's
I
all I'm
had it.
saying.
I
After
feel you.
that,
I feel you.
yeah, after
I
that, it
had
was a
it.
cleanup.
I had it once he did push-ups and the Taylor. Personally, for me, the push-ups, I was like, okay, this is cool. For me, it wasn't enough to like do nothing. So I'm like, we'll see what happens. The Taylor made, I was like, this is weird for me. So So I didn't have him up. I just kind of had him where he like, we'll see what happens. Euphoria came and cleared that shit for me. Like, clear it out. Then 616 was cool. And we got what we get after that. Was that when Family Matters? Yeah, when Family Matters came, it was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. But then it was like Meet the Grams, and it was like clear. And then Not Like Us, clear. And then when he did the Hard Part 6, it was like that was the white flag wave. So for me, I get what you're saying. Especially if somebody is more, I guess, in the middle of like, trying to be objective about it. But for me, even in the objective piece, for me as a music fan, I was like, he's fucking you up right now.
Yeah, it was dominating me because of the planning, like the efficiency. Again, for me, it's efficiency. Like again, we battle rap fans, so we know how bars got ahead. We know how we've seen beats before. And for me, it was the calculation, and because if Meet the Grams doesn't drop,
it's tough.
This is a different conversation.
It looks tough.
Because for me, I am a part of the agreement personally that Family Matters may be the best song overall out the bunch. Because I'm telling you, parts 2 and 3, I'm sorry. Parts 2 and 3 is some of the best work Drake done that whole beef.
I thought he could have clipped that part too.
That part 2 could have and part 2 is the beat, like when it, like how the beat jump, like bro, that's what you mean? The best song out of it for me. Like I love Euphoria, I love all of them, but when I say like a vibe top to bottom, that and the fact that they're both like 6 minutes and he gave you 3 different flips, like yes, so that's why I would say no Meet the Grams. That's why I would say the sweep is only the timing, and that's why I say efficiency. If he don't drop that in that time frame of 45 minutes, it's a different outlook. It's a different outlook in that day because Family Matters with the video, all of that, and that's why. And that song for me still, I mean, I still listen to it. Like I said, I have a playlist of all these songs, and I listen to all of them on rotation. But like Family Matters is a different track for me because you get to parts 2 and 3. Man, look, everybody
knows saying part 2. That part 2 was not that.
I'm
that
sorry.
Part 3, part 3 is where he got to it. But that part 2,
man, it's a part of part 2 when
who lying? Who's lying? Bro. I'm not like, bro. Part 2, he took 3 minutes off to talk to everybody else and said nigga the whole time.
I'm not talking about actual direction.
That wasn't like,
I'm talking
he barred niggas to death. Like it was cool. But
like
it was that part 3. When he got to part 3, I was like, okay, now you in your bag. Parts 1 and part 3 bagged up. Part 2, I don't need this.
I hear you. I needed part 2. I'm sorry, him cooking the field. Look here. If this wasn't Drake versus Kendrick, I'm telling you, that was
But that's the issue.
That's the issue versus the field in the world, nigga.
That's the issue.
And that's Drake versus Kendrick. I love that verse to field part. Like when he start like, and it's when the beat start jumping, when he talking about like the next time I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a horse, take a nigga on a horse ride, something like that. When the whip, bro, he is in an ultimate bag. And that's why I gotta respect it. That's why I say, bro, Family Matters is that man's best work.
May I check
with Duppy?
Let me give you he's in his first person shooter bag. Go listen to it.
Yeah, but and he dissing these though.
He's not in a 1-of-1 bag though. He's in an old bag. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't care.
I get you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hear you.
That's why I get it. It wasn't a domination. It was a domination, but wasn't a clean sweep. I'm gonna say it wasn't a clean sweep.
I had a clean sweep, brother.
Because Family Matters is an amazing song. But go ahead.
It is.
I agree with Ed. I think you might be adding a little bit of hindsight sauce on it, but I still say that to say, for you, Nick, I think you add a little bit of hindsight breakdown.
No, when I heard it, I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you still talking to them? Go talk to him. He's right in front of you.
That is part 2 is a part of my.
That's the only piece that killed it for me. Like it's like, dog, the first verse, I'm like, yes. When he got to that set, I'm like, nigga, what are you doing, bruh? So when he got to the third, I'm like, okay, bet. Like, yes, this is what I was looking. But that second one, I was like, you missed a step. You stuttered right there.
No, he didn't miss a step, but it was a fire misstep.
You should have took all 3 of them and just punched that boy head off if that's what you was going to do.
That was a misfire. That's what it was. It was a misfire because it was fire. It was just went the wrong way.
Part 2 coming.
We gonna see.
Part 2 coming, man. That's how I feel. Part 2 is coming. And we're gonna be right back here, and I promise you, it's gonna be me still tired of talking about it.
On me. On me.
When y'all get to it, you just gonna see my camera disappear, me reappear with a pillow. I'll just be just
Sleep. Oh
oh,
man.
he has another black eye. No, you don't say. Wake me up when something else is happening. No, he's
Oh,
upset again. Oh, where are the scallops to die for? I'm back to sleep. Just leave. Just leave. Part two coming, man. Part two
oh
coming.
man. All right, man. So that's that on the Kendrick Drake beef, man. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it real quick. We got a segment for y'all. We loaded up for that, man. So this one is called "Is Cap in Your Raps?" And what this segment is basically any rapper that we feel like is blatantly lying about something in the game that they talk about. We gonna tell them, keep it clean, stop lying, stop capping in them raps, bro. Does anyone have any nominees this week?
Nasty Nas. Nasty Nas. All those bars, and you let your mans run around telling people publicly that you intentionally choose bad beats to rap on. Why would you lie to us like this? This is very dirty. It's very nasty, Nas.
Yeah,
Why
Yes.
would you want us to believe that in the mecca of hip hop, all these productions coming out, beats banging, sampling, that you thought we wanted to hear some high quality selection number 5 fragrance of garbage? That's what that was. Garbage. Half of them beats that you chose, quote unquote, is the same reason why they don't want to entertain you and your lyrical miracle stuff. That's all I had to say, man. There was a lot of cap in that. Yeah, man. I already knew I was better than the rest of the people, so I wanted to make sure that the people knew that you don't need the beats to make the song. And you know what they did? Tossed it in the trash. I'm sorry. It was great then. I don't want to take away from it. You were nice, but as time went along, Ether, that beat is trash. I am sorry. That beat is high quality dirt, bro. Ether is dirt. You had to rap. I kind of believe you. That's the only track that I'm willing to get into it with. You did rap because that's the only reason we go back to that song. That beat is dirt skis,
Oh wow.
I'm not. Listen, Nas,
mud,
we love you. You know,
trash
you
can juice,
legend.
dumpster fire,
Please, bro, let me.
basura.
Oh wow.
Nas, you're a legend, bro. We love you to death, and you've done what you did at this point. Like, there's no debating
I
about.
hate you now. I hate you now that I
Oh,
know this out loud.
You
I
hate
can
him
hate
now
you
when he
now.
said "hate me now."
I can hate you now, and I
okay.
won't stop now either.
There you go. I like that.
I don't. Yeah, you just gonna have a hard time selling to me that you, a successful mainstream signed artist, purposely chose bad beats for you were to rap over. I don't know a single rapper, right? Period. I don't know a single rapper that picks a beat that's bad. Like any beat you pick to rap on, you gotta kind of like it. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta hear yourself on it before you even rap on it. So for you to hear that and be like, yeah, these ain't really hitting like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and show them something. Stop capping, bro. You like the beats. You like them beats. Just
I
give your
almost
producers the credit, bro. Just let them write. Hey man, that's what we was doing. That's what we was on. Don't later on try to hit us with the Jedi mind trick. No, see what I was trying to show you was I could do what y'all do on y'all beats, but I'm not gonna do that because I care too much about the.
I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know when you said this. I don't know if this was in hindsight or you actually believe that then. Part of it, it sounds so heinous that I almost started making rap conspiracy theory reaches. In my head, it's like, oh, so you were that scared of Jay?
Oh wow.
Jay bullied you off some tracks?
I,
Dang, you couldn't compete with Bad Boy? You see the production producing up there,
come
man.
on, man.
So
You had
now you in the
it's
middle
like,
of the
bro.
beef, and like I gotta
Because
show I
even
stand out.
he even
All
said
right,
that he was like, I had access to all of the craziest beats. It's like, then why
And
didn't you get them?
you
the
pass them up,
You should
competition,
have got them. You should have got
the
them.
competition,
No, I'm with
right?
you.
okay.
I'm with you.
And
I'm with you.
DMX just gave you 2 plats in 6 months. Competition
Like,
over there
and
was
that's the
off.
other crazy part too. It's like, bro, you was in the the prime time of production. Swiss,
Of
Neptunes, Timbo, the Diddy hit makers. Like you, No, not Hitmakers. What is it? Let
His
me not.
squad.
Hold on, real quick. His Squad. No, wait. Hold on.
I think that was
Hold on.
2000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2000s, 2000s.
Uh,
Um, the
I'm
firm,
blanking.
the firm. That's what I'm thinking about. The
Okay.
firm. But it's
Yeah.
like you had a lot. Scott Storch, you had a lot
Yeah.
that you could have just, hey man, we can go ahead and load them. And it's not even like it's to a point where producers is like, oh yeah, bro, you got to just take these. Like you Nas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Hey,
Nas.
you made Illmatic.
You can go,
You know what I'm saying?
sit down with the producers like, hey, bro, this is what I'm trying to do, and we gonna build around the Come on, bro. Stop lying. Stop capping, Nas.
Yeah.
Stop capping. Keep it
Yeah.
clean, bro. Keep it clean.
We keep going because I'm by the time y'all done, I'm gonna think of a second one.
I got one. It's kind of outdated, but Thug, Thug, what did he say? I don't know why folks bringing me up in not like a Thug.
Yeah.
You know what's going on, bro. You know what's
Yeah.
going on. You know what time it is, and you know what's happening. But I know what position you in, so I understand. But we gonna keep it clean and tell you was capping. That's cap. That's cap. That's all. Same as Wayne. Cap. Stop capping. Y'all just stop capping, man. Like when it comes to this beef, when it comes to this thing, just keep it a bean, keep it a buck, and keep it clean, bruh. Like say what it is. Y'all be out here trying to protect y'all relationships. That shit whack. It's not hip hop.
Nah. You know he might need some help back to the top. And I'm not gonna
Right.
lie,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
business wise, especially both of y'all being in a position to capitalize, it's a good team.
No, I get it. I
It's a good
understand it.
team.
I understand it. But you capping. I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna just call it for what it is. It's cap. I ain't gonna. You
Okay.
capping for me. But y'all got
Sometimes you
anybody
got
else?
to cap. I'll say sometimes you got to cap to get back where you were.
You gotta fake it till you make it.
Boy,
Just
I
like the
just
damn
knew.
thing he had on his head in his interview. Sometimes you just gotta
That's how I know he was
pull it
capping.
up
He didn't even want to show his face.
because he knew he was just down bad.
I
He
see
knew
it
he
in
was
your
lying.
eyes.
He was
I see it in
lying.
your eyes. Oh man.
Having it.
All right.
So you saying he had the Jim Jones to get back to the position?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
shit. He got an album coming out next week, so yeah, he got to do what he got to do to.
Protect it, you
Ain't
know.
really no noise. I'm sorry. I don't think there's really no noise going on around it right now. It's like the new single. I'm sorry, mid to me. So I don't think it's really no real motion. First verse came home, really didn't make no motion. I think he got to do this. So yeah, hey Drake brother, I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I don't even.
I hate that
Anyway.
your video was pretty much Otis though. I really do.
That was hard. That was cool. I enjoy. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the fact that I'm old enough that now people are like sampling shit from when I was a kid. Like that's cool to me.
Yeah.
Like when I see that, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like this is a nice homage to Otis. And then when it's like when a younger kid go see this and it's like, have you ever seen? You know what they got this from? And then you can go
Mhm.
watch it. You might not even rock with the record, but it's just like I thought it was dope. I liked it. I liked it for sure. I ain't mad at it.
All right. Sorry, really quick.
Oh,
Eh. Going back to what I said a little bit earlier, I think a part two coming. And then now combining it with the Thug thing. And who was in that song with Thug?
Future.
Are we about to get a collab with the three of them?
Probably. Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends because we don't know exactly where Future and Drake stand
yeah.
at the moment. So I don't know.
But we know where Thug stands, and that's the in-between party.
And he's trying. I think he is. I think he said he was on a tweet. He was saying he trying to get them back together. I think he said that like right when he came home. I think.
I'm gonna just look, listen. That trio, that pairing, it's done. We don't care.
I mean, the
No,
song that
no,
was
we
the hit wasn't even that really fire.
We
It
don't.
was
That's what I'm
just
saying. We don't
way
no,
too
care.
sexy.
no,
Wasn't
but okay.
even.
We don't care
But
anymore.
if they get back on the track together, and I got like that on the Future record, and then now it's my turn. You know, other
He
side
might.
turn
He
with the Future.
might.
Oh, part two coming, man. I'm sorry, part two coming.
All right, I'm with it. I'm with it. So Ray, you said you spent the week watching basketball, my brother. Let's
Oh wait,
talk.
no, I
Oh,
didn't want to. We could get to that. I didn't want to skip off. So you had said you feel like Kendrick is the GOAT. Now I know we got down the rabbit hole. Is
yes,
this because of the
yeah.
concert?
No, it's in combination. It's in combination. The concert like stamps it. So for me,
Right.
with Kendrick, I view it as 3 classics out the gate. a B-side that's better than a lot of people's album. Some people regard Mr. Morale as a great album. I personally do not. I don't like that album like that, but I'm not gonna take away from what it is. Like I know what it is. Like I listen to it, I understand it. It's just not my favorite sonically. But and then the beef, knock off the number one, and then this album to follow with the tour. It's like all of the success, Pulitzer prizes, the Grammys. Like if you want to go accolade route, you can make the case. If I'm going strictly music route on what those albums are and just the artistic value of them, I'm still making the same case. So for me, I personally, for me, Section 80 is a classic too. So it's like for me, out the gate, four classics out the gate. To Pimp a Butterfly, to me, is probably the best hip hop album in the last 10, 15 years. It's like for me, I don't know what else you want from bro. He followed that up with a Pulitzer Prize winning album. I don't know what more we want from bro. For me, GOAT.
Was it like a grand larceny of your previous number one position?
Not necessarily. Like for my previous number one was Jay. Right? My previous number one is Jay. Jay in his last last back half of his career is not really doing it anymore. And yeah, but he came in and took the torch and ran with it, type shit.
Because I hear you, because essentially he's from like swimming pools. He had his drink and then he two-stepped over to Damn and was like,
wait, say it.
Really getting in that bag.
Say it again.
Huh? What happened? Oh, I said, from swimming pools to Damn, he was really covering a lot of spread.
Not swimming pool. Not swimming pool. I'm going back to ADHD. As I said, I think that Section 80 is a classic album. You can really go back to the Kendrick Lamar EP if we want to do it, but I ain't gonna force it.
Right. I remember he used to like perform at hotels just to see where he's at now is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
How far he came, man.
100%. Yeah. You can try it, bro. The man is on a stadium tour right now. What you want? He went from the hotel to the stadium. What we talking about?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have any more that Nick didn't write. Like at this point, you feel me? Like I ran out of pre-Nick. I don't have any more. Because the rest of them Nick wrote, so I don't want to like throw him under the bus.
He don't get it.
I ain't catch. What you mean? What's going on?
He said it was a grand larceny that he took his spot.
Grand larceny of your number one spot?
This motherfucker. You know what, bro?
From swimming pools, he had his two-step over. He had his drink.
He had his drink to the two-step.
Watch out, bro. That went completely over my head. But see, this should tell you though. This should tell you how tapped in Ray is with Cassidy. He really trying to hit y'all with the ooh-wah.
Those are his only 3 hits before you came along.
I don't even listen to bruh. I don't know.
Only 3 hits before you came along.
I don't know he has 3 hits. I know 2.
God, bro.
You know how many he has now?
I know Drink in my 2-step.
I know you
and
do.
B-Boy Stance. Oh no, Hustler. That's it. B-Boy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 3. B-Boy Stance. Wait, that's Cassidy, right? B-Boy Stance.
Don't play them.
I'm dead ass. I'm so dead ass. Is that Cassidy?
I know that's you know that's your man's.
I'm so dead ass right now. Is that Cassidy?
Like, cause that's why I was like holding a laugh. That's why I'm over here like this.
Whatever. Whatever, man. Moving on. You watched the NBA this week, right? No.
I thought he got me. He made me say it again.
It's done.
Yeah, I thought he did too. That's why I'm like, oh shit, you did it.
No.
He said, wait, what you say?
I'm like, hold on, huh? But no, I'm not. See, but that I don't think about that man, bro. That's not. I don't know Cassidy. I don't know that man.
In a bad spot right now. It's okay. It's okay, bro.
We not seeing eye to eye right now.
It's okay, bro.
Whatever, nigga. All right. You watched the NBA. You watched the NBA for the week, right?
Yes,
you watched
sir.
the games.
Yes,
talk to us, brother. What are you seeing out here?
So far, I'm seeing a lot of belts and a lot of ass getting whooped, bro. A lot of belts and a lot of ass, man.
What's up with Ed? What's up with Ed? Why he talking to LeBron like that? Can he talk? Can he talk to LeBron like that? Can you do that?
Yeah,
like
I think so.
Like, can you even? Is that allowed? Are you allowed to do that?
Man, like Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards is what's my man name from The
Anthony,
Wire?
Anthony Edwards is Randy Orton right now.
Man,
Anthony Edwards
Legend killer.
is on a legend killer run right now. Anthony
He is-
Edwards is, bro, KD,
it's like
Nicola, Bron, like what? And you talking crazy the whole time? He got to get a chip, or he got to get a chip or kind of chill
Yeah.
out.
you would have thought they did something personally. You would have thought that, man.
But
So
that's
you-
the
you
energy
got-
that's missing.
Yeah, no facts.
Yeah,
Fact.
and
It's
because
facts.
that's one of the
Energy's been
highlights. One of the highlights of the first round is, man, they are allowing physical basketball. They're allowing physical basketball. The people are getting into it. Refs are. You're complaining more about the ref blowing the whistle for a foul. It's like, oh man, like that was kind of tacky, or you might just miss a call. Other than that, man, the people are engaged. Giannis, hey big fella, you gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to figure it out. Rest up, Dame, because I hate that. I went through that
Yeah.
injury twice. Rest up, man. I don't want to see that happen. But we still also gonna have to address that you might be on that list, so you're not who you say you are.
You're
And
washed.
that's okay.
You're
Been
washed.
That's okay. Let's see. We still got 2 series left. So
Yeah.
one.
Because no, not OKC. Golden State didn't. They didn't pull it out
Houston,
yesterday.
They're going to game 7. And
Yep.
then we got a game 7 with the Clippers and the Nuggets.
Yep.
Kawhi looking like a machine.
Man.
Crazy. Kawhi looking like
a
20.
machine.
Kawhi looking like Raptors Kyrie. I mean Kawhi.
Yeah.
And this is wild. I don't.
Nasty.
So we also got another edition of Fathers in the NBA. Because I don't know what Halliburton's dad said to Giannis or vice versa.
Hey, listen. Let's just real quick. Can we have some like game etiquette? Can we have some
Etiquette.
professional etiquette at these games? Like, I understand your son just won, y'all mopped him up, it's cool. But my brother, my elder, you a old man.
You blame him?
Why are you on the court?
Wait, okay, hold on. Let's be clear. For those that don't know, what ended up happening, Pacers slapped up the Bucks, gave him a 2-piece. Game-winning point or bucket was
By his
Mr.
son.
Halliburton's
Beautiful.
Mr. Halliburton's son scoring on Giannis himself.
Yeah.
Get him that, and then
To the
spin the
hole.
basket. Not
Yeah.
scared of you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't play in the Olympics, but I was still in the championship. You weren't. Whatever the hate was, I got you. Beat you for the second year in a row. Doesn't really matter. Game ends.
Mhm.
And in the corner of the court, the Pacers, this is in Indiana, Pacers are hype, families are around, whoop-de-whoop. Mr. Halliburton ends up on the court.
He walks on the
He's
court.
on the court. He's not by himself. There's a group of people on the court.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a mix of fans are on the court. And from what the camera shows in his version of the story, he was holding up it was either a shirt or a towel that had Tyrese's face on it. Tyrese is his son. And he was saying, that's how the F we do this. That's all he said. He kept saying that.
Mhm.
That's how
He
the F we
also-
do this.
Real quick. He also said, I wasn't even looking at Giannis. I was looking through him.
I was looking through him. Right? That's his version of the story. Giannis says he felt that what he said was disrespectful and he was trying to put the towel in his face. And so he doesn't like disrespect like that. Now, the towel in the face part, I don't know, because Giannis has a good 1.5 foot on dude. So it didn't look like, I don't even know if the towel made it that high. But we know Giannis grabbed him, forehead to forehead, which looked wild on cam. But
real quick though, that was the second thing that the first time when he was just holding the thing up, they was just talking. Like Giannis didn't walk towards him or nothing. They got separated and they moved out.
He just was
The
staring.
second time, he was just staring at him. The second time when they got face to face, they had a conversation and dapped up at the end of the convo. I think that was a more like, hey bro, it's all calm and we just having a real talk at this point. I don't think that second one was like the vitriol of the first interaction that they was having. I think he walked on the court.
That second one was
come on the court.
That's cool. Did you see? But they dapped up like right at the end of it. I don't think that was.
It was no. It was I think they pieced it up at the end, but that's what the whole. That was Giannis was like, no, because even in his explanation,
that was the other dude he was holding the back of his head. You confused?
No. He had man's grabbed by the shoulder. He had.
By the shoulder. Okay, I thought you were talking about.
But no, because he said in the post game, he was like, I don't do that. Like that head to head. No, Come on now. On that old man, no, that was some vitriol. Like, nigga, what you mean you because he's processing it and taking it like, oh, you disrespectfully saying F me and you telling me this what y'all do. Mind you, he
Which
just
he
lost.
didn't
So
say
emotions
that.
are high.
Which he didn't say that. So that's where I was trying. I get he's on the court, but families go on the court. We seen the kids be on the court after the game. They dap up fathers. There's a lot of fathers circulating on the edge of these courts. There's also a lot of fathers getting in some interactions. We just gonna have dads of the NBA. We might have to have that
Yeah,
conversation.
the Keep It Clean sports show. We got y'all.
You
We
feel me,
got y'all.
man? Because between Jaws, now Tyrese, and Braun being dad on the court and going to check people about his son, whatever the case may be, there's a lot of dad action
Yeah,
happening,
it's a lot of
right?
wild. Yeah, y'all got to get it
Look,
together, man. But
I'm
for me, it's
man,
just like, dog. I understand, like, it's hype, it's the moment, it's all of that. But even in, because to what Giannis said about, being respectful in victory or whatever the situation, it's like, dog, at a certain, I get it, like, yeah, but it's like at a certain point, it's like, fam, chill out, because Giannis a crash out, bro. Like
look,
you got to know who you gonna do that to. You can't just be running up on the, you ain't gonna do that to Isaiah Stewart.
he got to fight for his brother. Giannis got to fight for his brother. He been crashing out. He's tired of y'all keeping it clean about his sibling.
And that was you that was doing that on here in episode, what was that, 4, 3? That you was.
Look, I was trying to get some grace.
No, I can't, because ever since he gave that speech talking about just because I lose in the playoffs, does that make me a loser? Ever since you said that, you have been getting beat. You've been getting cleaned up in every losing playoff series since that. Since he made that comment, you've been getting slapped up, man. But yeah, man. Now the NBA playoffs are dope. We have the Thunder that already advanced. I'm trying to think of the West side. Thunder and Minnesota have already advanced. We're waiting for the results of Game 7 between Clippers and the Nuggets, and then Game 7 of the Warriors and the Rockets. On the East, we have Boston, New York, which was a great series. Shout out to Cade Cunningham. It was just Jalen Brunson.
Malik, you got to catch those, bro. You got to catch those.
To the Thompson brother that disappeared off the screen. He got yoked something crazy. Oof. Got yoked something crazy. And yes, Malik, you got to catch that. But who else? Or it was Boston, New York. I'm missing two. Cleveland. Yeah, Boston, New York, Cleveland, and Indiana. I'm sorry, we were just talking about it. So East is already completed, man. But y'all two, then we're gonna give y'all a playoff recap.
Yeah, definitely.
Episode for y'all, man.
Definitely. Damn, Malik, man, you got to catch that, bro. You got to catch that. You got to catch that.
Shout out Greg Pop. Shout out Greg Pop, man. Going into retirement. Shout out to Greg Pop.
Yeah.
I understand that it was for health concerns, and want to give him a shout just because you're the one in this coaching basketball. You brought a lot to the city of San Antonio, and man, you got a lot of respect. And I can personally vouch for the fact being there, he was always a part of the community. It wasn't just like, oh, he famous. You saying it's like, nah, Greg was outside. Yeah, Greg was very much outside, and that's a part of the Spurs organization in general. Most of those players, if not all, are heavily involved out there. That's a part of that culture. So shout out to Greg Pop, man. I hope you enjoy retirement. He's retiring from coaching. Maybe he's only going to be the team president now. I said only. That sounds crazy. He's in the team president role, and he's still going to be involved. But big news in the NBA. I think that took away from part of the game highlights, man. Everyone's talking about Greg for the longest, bro. But yeah.
Shout out to Coach Pop, man. We gonna miss you. Is you like Coach Pop is great for the sideline interviews. You know what I mean? Like the Craig Sager interviews. Rest in peace to Craig Sager. The interviews with his son. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out to Greg Popovich, man. He been old my whole life. You know what I mean? Like
White Morgan Freeman.
You did what I'm saying? Like you've been old my whole life, man. I'm good. I'm glad to see you go ahead and sit it down, bro. Appreciate you for all your work, man.
Before we get off, I need to say one thing about sore losers. This is about Greek. In that post-game conference that we was talking about after the situation, he made a comment about being respectful in losing, et cetera, et cetera. He made one comment. He said, I won a championship. They did not. I was humble. Hey,
That's not humble.
We not talking about a championship from 3 years ago. We talking about you getting that game-winning bucket put on your ass and losing in 2025. So we need to talk about because this is the thing where he did all that trying to say and do the humble thing of no, that was your sorest moment right there, dog. You can't say in that oh y'all acting so big and bad and cheering. I won the championship. Y'all haven't, and I was respectful. That's you, gang. This is how they celebrate.
And you've been very disrespectful since then yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's almost that Dwight Howard syndrome. We're gonna touch on this a little bit later. Adding to your sore losers, not shaking hands after you get beat was already a thing. We saw how that played out for years as far as in the GOAT talks. Not shaking your hands after you get beat and then doing a press conference and saying it's always a disappointment when I don't make the championship. Not team, I. Hey, Mr. LeBron.
Come to the carpet, man. Come to the carpet,
come on,
brother.
Man.
Come down to this carpet, man.
You got to do better.
You're not moving like a goat,
don't have to, man, at all.
You're not moving like a goat, man. This is not good work from you, brother. Like you, ugh. It's to the, I don't know, LeBron. I feel like at this point, the longer LeBron plays, it's only gonna hurt his legacy. Like it's his legacy is cemented as far as like who he is and what he did and all of that. But like the more this goes on, I know he's stat padding. Like, so I know it's gonna kind of level itself out as far as like what his numbers look like. But like watching this don't look good, man.
Yeah, bro.
Your tenure in the West has been terrible outside of your championship. This has been trash.
And it's bad just because it's like you trying to, like you said, honestly, I don't even think championship is what he cares about, really. I think he cares about stat padding to a way where his numbers are unreachable.
Type shit.
I think he wants it to be, I want it where you cannot, my name will never be forgotten. Yeah. I want to be the new statue, the new logo. I want everything to be LBJ. Nah, this not the NBA. This is the LBJ when I'm done with you. That's what and again, because we've always talked about Bron's ego. We've always talked about it. Throughout his entire tenure post the decision has been ego based with the GM and all that. So I think that's what the continuing to play is the ego. Hell, I'll be honest, he's only playing now to now get the other child in the NBA at this point. Like, really? Yeah. Because the other child will be coming out in the next year or two, I believe. So it's okay. Let me get my boys in. My name is gonna ring hole through my junior and my other child. They gonna keep the baton going. My stats will never be touched. Y'all gonna talk about my kids' kids. I think that's what he's doing, and it's all ego based. It ain't the championships because I won 4. Wait, did he win 4? 4, right? Won 4. Yeah, so 4. I won 4 chips. I mean, I went to 8 straight finals. All I can do is lose now. Like, that's all I can do is lose.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Bronny, I need you to step up. Based on what Ev just said, Bronny, I need you to step up because the only way this man is going to be willing to take a bench role is if you're starting. So as long as his name is still on the court, Bronny, please have an amazing sophomore year so we don't have to see this man try to trudge himself up court, tell us that he has another injury in March, and then tell us he has another injury after he lost the playoff series. Every single time he loses a playoff series, there's some type of injury that just popped up in the very last game that nobody else knew about during the time frame. Bronny, start. I just need you to average like 20. Just give me 20. Austin Reeves looks, he looks like he could be movable based on his playoff series. Just take it for what you will. Take it for what you will, bro.
His name is Austin Russell this past series. Everybody talked about D-Lo. He pulled on his D-Lo impression.
Sheesh.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
Missing shots.
Man. All right, man. Moving on real quick. Ray has an update for us. So my brother, the floor is yours.
Yes. This is going to be really quick, man. We touched on it the other day in regard, or more so all of us did. I apologize. With the Case and Allison, Joe Ramirez situation, the case I touched on in Texas whenever we're making comparisons and just highlighting protecting your children. There's been an update. We have a judgment. Judgment is made. Just a quick overview. Case and Allison, a young male, 18, high school kid, Joe Ramirez, both of them got into an altercation in a high school bathroom in Belton, Texas. There was a knife brought on campus. Unfortunately, one person got stabbed in the heart during the altercation and passed away. The person that got stabbed was said alleged to have started it. Kaysen responded with the knife that he had brought on campus, stabbed him in the heart. So he was charged with murder. He was found not guilty of murder, not guilty of manslaughter, and and they ended up finding him guilty in criminally negligent homicide, which is the lowest of the three. That's the status of it, right? From my understanding, that's what the jury had came back with. So murder was the main one, manslaughter was secondary. So they found him not guilty on the first two and the lower of the three. He's still currently out on bond. The time frame for that is anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. So
Okay.
negligent homicide
Yeah.
gets you 6 months to 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Understanding the circumstances,
Yeah.
at least from my perspective, it makes sense.
I'm not mad at it. I'm mad at it.
And
He a
then
kid.
6 months.
Like at the end of it, he's a kid. We don't know necessarily if he intended to go do that. We don't know, we don't know none of that. So wild situation. You shouldn't have had a knife. That's that would check
the main
out.
part, and that's that they shouldn't have a knife. I think is part of the reason why it still lands there anyways. It's like you did something that's clearly illegal.
Yeah.
And even though that was secondary, it added to this primary situation. So so 6 months to 2 years and up to a $10,000 fine. He will remain free until his sentencing, which I believe is in June. I bring that back up because once again, we just want to touch on, we have a updated, unfortunately, situation that is similar to that with the Carmelo Anthony situation, almost exact same details. Moral of the story, as far as I'm concerned, please do better for our children. There's more stuff that's popping up. We don't want them to be in that situation in the first place. Touch bases. Stop adding narratives to the Carmelo Anthony situation and the Austin Metcalf situations. Goes on both sides. I see people going after his dad as well for not wanting to add to the drama. Stop that. Don't worry about the GoFundMe's. Don't worry about none of that. Worry about keeping in tune with these kids and go hug these little ones, man. Go hug these little ones. Go give back to the community. Go tap in with your PTA stuff. Go tap in with the town halls. Go tap in with the school boards, just to make sure that we don't end up having a repeat of these scenarios. Make the kids feel important. Do better than what we felt like our parents didn't do.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I don't know if this is gonna be a cleanup or an update, but I was going back through watching one of the old pods. I think it was episode 5, part 2. And I made the statement: if you are a man trying to keep masculinity within a box of expression, you are the one waging the war on masculinity. And Ray made a noise, kind of like he disagreed almost, but we never got into it. And I was just wondering about that. So Ray, did you disagree with what I said, or what was that? What was that about?
First of all, I do want to address, I harmonized that noise. It was beautiful. I watched it back too. I said, it was, it was just laid right out there. It was like a finger roll at the rim, no backboard. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So when you go back there, yeah, man, just know it was a beautiful moment. You saying it now, and I believe what I heard at that time were two different things. I don't remember the boxing it and keeping it in particular. I kind of took that statement more as a people wanting to keep masculinity, or the way that people feeling like there is an attack on masculinity are the problem. That's the way that I thought you had worded it.
Okay,
but even with what you're saying now,
okay, so let me clarify. For the people claiming that there is a war on masculinity, if you are one of the people trying to keep masculinity within a box of a certain expression, in my book, in my point of view, you are the one waging the war. Because for me, the people that are usually saying that are the ones that are fighting back against a more expressive or more expansive expression of masculinity, right? Whether that be doing stuff deemed to be girly, painting your fingernail, whatever the situation is. It's like, oh, this ain't masculine. This is the war on masculinity. Y'all trying to feminize black boys, all that type of shit. It's like, if you only view masculinity as something that can be expressed in this particular way, you are waging a war on masculinity, in my book.
Yeah, I double down on what I said. I still have to
Okay.
stand behind it because even in the if I build off of what you said, not even in contention to it, if I build off of what you said, there is an attack on just the word masculinity in itself before we even get to the definitions of what it could possibly mean, expansive or keeping it in a box. Because I don't what my version or box is, if you will, using your words, may not be somebody else's box, but
Mhm.
expansion or not, it is very evident to the point of using the word masculinity automatically has a negative connotation. So yes, we can't use the word, let alone get to the definitions of it. So if we are comparing it to what you had just said on it's supposed to be this particular thing, it's also like saying if you're going to define what is and is not manly, and most of the times that definition has been taken away out of the men that are describing it in a positive way or acknowledging the things that we do fall into certain gender roles on what masculinity is. Like we have understandings of words and what those definitions mean. And if you're only going to focus on taking what the negatives are away, or just assume that it's going to be a negative connotation for doing something that does have a dictionary definition, then I for sure say that there's a war on masculinity. I, I double down on that.
So
When
this
we
is
hear
my
the word
question.
masculinity now, it's usually tagged with something else, whether it be toxic or doing it
It's
as an
only
umbrella
toxic.
thing to dismantling the patriarchy. And then because of the patriarchy being so bad, this is why masculinity is this way. It's still tied
Mhm.
into something. You don't hear masculinity in any other context but negative as of today's standards, going off of what you said, how it's used. So
Mhm.
now you create that war of people feeling like it's supposed to be this way to the extremes, just trying to get a word back as opposed to talking about the word and building on it. What
I
that
think
does take away
I
is
think
that
we're in
understanding
a
of positive
I think we're in a bit of
situations.
a pendulum swinging moment, if that makes sense, right? Like I felt like this since Donald Trump won, right? So like Me Too and all of that, like when we were growing up as kids, if we can make it visual, right? Let's say everything was to the right, and this isn't right as in conservative, but just for example
Scale, left
purpose.
and right
Yes,
scale.
yes, scale. So if we were growing up, everything was a bit more to the right. You could say a lot more, you could do a lot more, you could get away with a lot more that you can't really get away with today, as far as homophobic slurs, as far as N-word, as far like you could say a lot of things. Everything wasn't so censored, right? Cool. As we grew up, we saw things start to shift more to the left, right? So as you get the Obamas, once that goes, you keep going, that gets into the Me Too, and you start getting into the gay rights movement, LGBT movement, and all of these other uh communities that may not have had so much shine or spotlight when we were younger, when everything was more scaled to the right, is now it's you're starting to see that on the other side. And I think the reaction to it has become, along with like the shining of the moments, is now once we start talking about Me Too, once we start talking about toxic masculinity and how the patriarchy has been detrimental to society in certain ways, right? You have an over focus on the negative, which is what you're talking about, how we pair masculinity with toxic, like kind of out the gate these days. But I also think on the flip side, you have, and this is where it kind of throws it off for me, in the expansion or in shit moving to the left, you have people pushing for the expansion of what masculinity can be, right? And I think you have to tune or like kind of fine tune and look through to see like that conversation is trying to be had. And I think the extreme side where people are like, no, the expansion of moving to the left is the war on masculinity versus actually having a conversation about masculinity and what it can be is where the disconnect is. Because for me, once it moves to the left, that's a good thing because now we can broaden the conversation, have a conversation about what it is. It's not always toxic. It's not the patriarchy may have some things that could be beneficial in a certain sense, but we just have to have the conversation. It's not all bad. It's not all good. But once you strictly go, if y'all are doing this, that's bad, particularly, and that's a war on masculinity, you are now, to me, waging the war yourself because you're fighting against the progress.
But that also goes both ways.
Yeah, I'm not saying it don't. I'm
Yeah,
not saying it
no,
don't.
what I'm more so getting at is in your understanding of your pendulum swing, the main thing that I'm presenting is while you're saying it's better to go left and it's more expansive, I'm saying I don't care about the right or the left because both there's no way to identify something as just one way. I'm looking at it as it's to the point now where it goes back and forth. Beforehand, it was agreeing with your pendulum swing. It was these are the bad things about being a man. On the other hand, it's these are the bad things about being a man. Pendulum swing each way. It doesn't matter what the definition of bad is now, not masculine is now. Either way, it's being tied to some type of negativity. If you're sensitive, it's a war on masculinity. If you're over here being tough, it's a war on masculinity. That's what I'm highlighting. Right. Each
Okay,
side has
I
been
see what
presented as bad. Doesn't matter which way you feel about it.
you're saying.
So
But
instead
but
of
that's kind of my point though.
I
Like the
agreed with
fact.
you. That's what
Okay,
I
go.
no, that's
Okay,
what I
cool.
said. I agreed with you. So
Gotcha.
what I'm saying to you is while you're saying there's a war on that same coin, just the opposite side, while you're disagreeing with the war, I'm saying it is while we're saying the exact same points. Those points are the reason why I'm saying it's a war, and then adding on where my viewpoint is on it, because you trying to deliver the message of expansion
Mhm.
or you trying to deliver the message of keeping it here, no conversations being had because your delivery of it is so shitty. So we can't just talk. That's why I said we're not even talking about the word. We're talking about what it's supposed to represent over here without having a definition of the word and at least an understanding of it. That's where I'm
Mhm.
at. The rest of that message is null and void. If you rain, hail, sleet, or snow for US Postman, if you give me that envelope and it's wet and it's soggy, I don't care what's in the envelope anymore. I feel a way about the delivery. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that was your job. If you were the person delivering, that is your job. Clean up the delivery.
Mhm.
And in this moment, it doesn't matter because building again on what you said, if you start with Trump, which I don't think it necessarily starts with him because you tagged in Obama, us in our age group came into this change on everything.
Mhm.
Masculinity, Me Too, women's rights, LGBT, doesn't matter. Black experience, all of that. We came into the change that we're seeing now. We literally grew up into our adulthood and where we are as an adult, and all of it has been the change process. So in that
Mhm.
pendulum swing that you speak of, when Obama was president, it was a max cap put on freedom of speech. Freedom of speech went both ways in the era before Obama. It was a little bit more conservative for sure. I agree with that. But both sides there was more conversations and more understanding of what is taboo. So maybe some stuff wasn't talked about, but at the same time, it wasn't gonna put you into a position of uncomfortability other than just broaching that topic. Like you didn't talk about politics before. That was taboo. You
Mhm.
did what you did in the household as a family. Y'all get together if there was some type of rally or you go to the town protest, whatever the case may be. A political view wasn't a indication of
Identity.
character at that
Identity.
time. An
Yeah.
identity. There you go.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about sexual acts as openly as we do
Yeah.
now. You didn't talk about. They did talk about race, but it's like you didn't talk about the women's rights as openly as we do now, or the Me Too
Mhm.
stuff as openly as we do now. So all of these things are now out in the air. I'm not saying it's not bad to discuss it. I'm not saying it is not good to discuss it either. We just put extremes out there, and that's
Mhm.
what we left it with. It doesn't matter which side of the fence that you feel like you're on. Everything is coming with a negative connotation. Therefore, there is no conversation in the middle. If you're going to say masculinity is only toxic either which way, then there is a war on the idea of masculinity, because even in our talk then on what we were having in the conversation we started this off with, we had understanding on what the male role was. We also understand what the definitions are, at least is what it's applied to us.
Mhm.
If you want to make it a man-made construct and say that that's what it is, well, we are, as far as I know, humans, we create constructs, and that's what it helps produce some type of form of evolution
Social
on. So
understanding.
even if
Yeah.
if we're still trying to expand it, it's still coming to a social understanding. So we're still
Right.
using a man-made construct. So it
Yeah.
null and void argument
I
to me.
I'm with you. I'm with
Really
you.
quick,
I don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ed, what's your point?
I was about to say, see, I think this is where I get lost with all this shit. Is as when I mentioned it before, when you like you said, we talking about extremes, but those extremes are not roles that men do. Those extremes that are presented are traits and behaviors.
Mhm.
This is going back to a point that I was making before. Those are traits and behaviors that anybody can do, man or woman, that we're talking about when we say toxic. So I feel like when you say the definite, like master words mean things. When we saying toxic, what is it that's toxic in the masculinity? What is it? What exactly is it that's toxic?
It
Is
depends
it,
on what we're talking about. Like I
but is
think
it the
That
man?
part.
Is it the role? Is it the, think about it? Is the
it,
role that a man is doing is toxic, or
That's
is
what
it the action?
it may be the
that's when
action and the action and the repercussions of said action. Like for example, if you we can take something simple, boys don't cry, right?
Mhm,
In the that's an act as far as like you're not supposed to do this.
mhm,
But it's also reinforcing in the role sense of like you don't show weakness. Like as you lead or as you move around, if something bothers you, if something hurts you, you keep the same face. You don't show the emotion, and it gets misinterpreted into never dealing with the emotion. So the repercussion is niggas die earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like mental health issues, die early from stress, heart problems, like on top of whatever fallouts come from not communicating those things with the people that you're around.
Mhm. Another example of what he's saying. Before it turned into men need to be be men need to be more open with their emotions or be more emotional. Before it was that, it was men need to tap in with their femininity. But it evolved into their emotions. But when it originally started, we were there during that era. Men need to tap into their femininity.
And see,
So
that kind of goes into how I'm thinking of this though. That was a problem. Saying tap into your femininity. You, your sound. I think your mic still messed up. But
you know,
that's a problem in itself. What I'm saying is that like using the words of femininity and masculinity to have those behaviors or actions be the baseline is the issue. Because I remember when we were going back, I was saying, nigga, these are human traits that we're saying that people should be doing having. Like
mhm.
being emotional. That's like having emotional intelligence. You want that's a baseline that everyone should have.
Facts.
And then so we're saying if a man doesn't have it, it's toxic masculinity. No, that's a toxic trait, not having emotional intelligence.
No, my
Not
response to you, yeah, because in that conversation, it's also that part of what is I think is being ignored in it. We agree these are responsibilities. Like for y'all that are listening, we were having a conversation in the group chat, and one of the examples that was being used that I had brought up is understanding what the expectations are that goes into the conversation of masculinity and femininity as well. Two adults, man and female, living in the house together. I asked whose responsibility was to make sure the doors are locked at night, and who's like who. While Ed was giving, and correct me if I'm wrong, his feedback was it's both, and I said I agree. But do we also agree that women expect us to be the security, which is a part of masculinity? Being a person to secure them as a person, their feelings, whatever the case may be, is that a man's role? A similar question that I asked both of you when we first had the conversation, and y'all said yes. So in that moment, that is a masculine role. So a part of security is while yes, both of us can be responsible for locking the door, all in all, it falls on you as the man first. There's
Mhm.
no toxicity in that. There was an
Yeah.
understanding that we all had. So now
Agreed.
saying it's just a role, I'm not disagreeing that it's a role, but we do have an order on whose role goes to what. And just like that, we had an understanding. That's
Mhm.
simple. So in
Mhm.
that moment, to just assess it as being toxic just because we split it up, it's not to take away who has what power. But if we're understanding what is the social construct behind it, if we're understanding the modern or trying to going from social construct and then adapting it to modern interpretations is where we're having the disconnect. That's what I'm saying. You
Mhm.
know, we
I
know
think
it's a social construct. I'm on the side of it's going to only be a social construct as long as you have society. So cool. So getting to the quote unquote from traditional traits and what it is, the traditional trait, as we just agreed, is men are here for security and part of their role. That's
mhm.
traditional.
Mhm.
So getting to the modern, all because that was a part of tradition, the way that it's being used now and the attack that I'm highlighting is anything traditional has been almost presented as bad as
Yeah,
well,
I'm with you.
toxic as
I
well.
agree. I agree.
Right.
I think that's a reaction to, like, I think that's a part of the scale slide, right? Like, I
For
think
sure. For
there's,
sure.
yeah, that's it. But and that was really my only piece of, like, I do agree that there is a war on masculinity, as far as there's a hyper focus on the toxicity of it, rather than rather than just trying to get an understanding of what it can be, right? Like,
And
and that's kind of my point of, like, if agreeing with you, it's a social construct, so we have the power to construct it or
Right.
reconstruct it and
true.
deconstruct it and reconstruct it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, if you're gonna push for it to never be deconstructed or reconstructed, that to me is waging a war, because you're fighting against progress for that thing that we all have, that is always constantly having another understanding of it as time goes on. That's all.
Right.
That's it.
No, because what I would add to that is part of what I was addressing last week or last pod is the same thing I'm addressing here, because when we make something so general, and the way that we use general language now to apply to very specific
Specific
situation,
things. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So physicality and domestic abuse has been labeled more as a masculine trait than a dickhead move.
That's where I'm going. That's
Is what
something I
I'm
was getting.
saying. It's
Okay.
automatically assumed that it was the man, and I understand percentages. That's why I made the example that I did. We can both have the responsibility. We both can be at fault for this, but at the end of the day, even with percentages, I understand men had more cases of domestic abuse. I'm not taking that away, but it's not a masculine trait if you have women doing the same thing. You are both
Just behavior.
dickheads, and then a part of maybe a part of him leading into that stupid activity was because you were raised this way in a toxic household, and then all that. I can apply all that. Then
Mhm.
I understand that. The
Mhm.
act itself is not just masculine. It's not just toxic masculinity. It's
Right.
not just this is see, men always do this. That's where I'm saying the conversation is, as opposed to he was a dick. He might have been a toxic male, possibly, or if it wasn't necessarily that and it went too far, it doesn't just mean it's toxic masculinity. He was a dickhead and he shouldn't have been doing that. There's the
Yes.
examples of that.
I get what you're saying. I think I think there's a line to walk, right? And I think the line depends on, because we can look at actions for what they are and be like, that's a dickhead move and you shouldn't have done these things, right? But I think also you have to factor in what informs it. And I'm not saying you didn't, because you also talked about the household and all of those things. But it's to a degree of, if we know, like, we agree toxic masculinity exists, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
So so
Speak. No.
yeah,
no,
go ahead.
You see it
No,
different?
you
We can
don't.
break
no,
it down. No.
Yeah, talk
because
to me. Why not?
I said I don't, because again, it's we don't say there's toxic femininity.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
Where
do.
we just say that those are women doing
Yeah.
masculine
No.
traits. That's what people
That
say, and
that
that's why I
is
I
say
that
don't.
is a
I don't
stance.
think so. I don't
that's
think.
why I'm saying toxic is
No.
the toxic is the behavior. Masculinity and femininity are just, that's why I say
But
words mean things.
what I'm
No,
saying
because
is,
if there's a positive, then there's a negative. There has to be. Because if I'm better, okay, for example, we all agree that it's the man's job or masculine job to secure the household, right?
yes.
Just saying masculine. I don't even want to say man. If we're all agreeing that it's the masculine thing to secure the household,
Yep.
okay, cool. So if they are trying to choose you and they feel that they get better security over here with him or her, if you want to be masculine in your female traits, whatever. There's more masculinity over here. He does security better than you.
Mhm.
Matter of fact,
Mhm.
you don't even do security well. You're just bad at it. You don't do nothing to secure her emotionally, financially, physically, none of that. And
Mhm.
you go so far as to expose her consistently into dangerous situations
Mhm.
Mhm.
intentionally.
Mhm.
We call it toxic. If you start doing it intentionally, like you are going out of your way to do things, you are taking away the masculine role and utilizing it in a way to harm her or put
And
her
that
in bad situations.
and that's what I'm getting to with the toxic masculinity piece. Like, when you look at what informs the behavior, right? Like, we at
Or
certain,
wait,
yeah.
sorry to cut your knowledge. I'll even give you a different flip on it. you're overprotective. Overprotected to the point you're extra jealous. You don't let her go outside. You don't let her do nothing. She's on
in the
pure
name
lockdown
of in the name of masculinity. That's
because it's like
yeah.
it's that control. Part of your is you think it's the control aspect of it, making sure everything's safe. In the best case scenario, you're trying to be safe. Worst case scenario, it might have evolved into power or making sure she can't do anything under your watch. So whether you keep exposing her to danger or you get overprotective, and that's still the male's role overall,
Right.
the masculine role
What's
overall. I keep saying
informing
male. I don't want to take that masculine role overall.
what's informing that behavior and that's where I get into like saying I agree with there is a toxic masculinity piece to it, because you can, in trying to uh, express your masculinity, use it as a way to be toxic. Like, I'm doing this because this is my role, like he said, with the with like making sure she can't go nowhere, becoming over controlling to a degree, right? So that's where I think where I was kind of pushing back against a little bit of what Ray was saying, as far as we can look at specific acts and, you know, differentiate between whatever the situation is. But I think it's tougher to do that because a lot of these things aren't done in a vacuum. A lot of things are done informed by other things. So if you commit an act like domestic abuse or whatever, it's like if you commit this act and you're doing this in the idea that you are the man of the house and can't nobody tell you nothing and can't nobody tell you how to run your house because you're a man and all this shit, is like, that is toxic masculinity in its purest form to me. Like, once you are using your masculinity to harm people, we can't,
Or
you know what I'm saying? Go
not
ahead.
even or like another example, and me and Ev, I want to hear your response to it because I know you might have had pushback. Utilizing, if you're someone that gets to utilize your double-edged sword in that moment, you're either being a toxic masculine person, or you're being a toxic feminine person. If you keep leaning into that, well, just because I'm this, so I don't have to do that, or you do it, yeah. If you keep utilizing that double-edged sword that only works in your favor, we're already acknowledging that there's a masculine versus feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes apart into the role thing. We're saying like, hey man, women, men, or it's not masculine to touch on feminine traits. It's not masculine to identify or highlight the female form or anything like that, where it might be a little bit more free on the male side. Any of those similar, if you're slim, you can't make fun of a bigger person. Those double-edged swords that people away with in that male and masculine role, if you do that intentionally, yes, that idea of, oh, I should be able to put my hands on a man because men are naturally stronger, right? So even if I hit him, he shouldn't hit me back. You are utilizing a double-edged sword of physicality to benefit you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can agree
And
with
then
that
put
part.
somebody in that role. So then if they strike back, well, he was a man, or a real masculine person wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And
And that goes both ways.
Okay, I could agree with that. Then it's in my vision, it's just because maybe I'm looking at it because of how you're raised. Because like masculinity, femininity, I guess it's more so contributed to relationships. That's when it's really, because that's why I
and
keep looking at it as behavioral
and real
acts.
quick, and I think it should. I think a lot. This is where I agree with you, right? Because I think a lot of times, like when people say, like, "Oh, tap in with your feminine side," I think actually, I think Mark Hill said this on the Joe Budden podcast not too long ago. But like, where if a man is more emotional, they regard that as the feminine side, whereas it kind of cuts off
And
what the expression of masculinity could be,
yes,
because that is all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why could it not be a masculine thing to be in touch with your
Mhm.
emotions?
mhm.
Like, why do you polarize it that way? And then in polarizing it that way, I think you kind of also feed into the problem. You
And
know what I mean?
that's where I'm
Or
coming from.
why? Yeah, like, really quick, just adding what you said. Or why even label it as masculine and feminine? Going back to what Ev said, why can't you just be
I'm
emotional?
with you. I'm with you.
It's,
I'm
it's a
with you.
That's
part,
why,
and that's
and
what I'm
that's
I
saying.
where
agree.
I
But no,
say
but
I agree. I'm with you.
the relationship part, like, how did you get strictly to, or more so towards relationships than
that's what
solo?
but see, that's what I mean is that this again, because it's behaviors like how we just said it is that we talking about tapping in with your feminine side. Well, that's, and then when we get to masculinity and femininity in relationships, we're also talking about um roles versus mentality, personality. Like saying tap into your feminine side to be more expressive, but then also saying it's masculine to be secure and securing the home. That's where it's kind of like using those are two different wild extremes of masculinity and femininity. And I say when we talking about the action of tapping with your feminine side, that's where it shouldn't be used, because as you're being raised from a child to an adult, you should be fucking taught to be already using your emotional side. That's why I'm talking about, even with male or female. Like, these are behaviors. And that's why I'm like, if you're not in touch with your emotional side, which causes you to do dickhead shit, that's not masculinity. That's just a behavior that you did not learn.
But
Is that
if it's
just in the relationship though?
No,
right, because
that's
I
what I
was
mean in the single. That's what I meant as being a person.
let
And
me
then
ask you
when
this. Let me ask you this. If you not being taught or being to and be emotionally intelligent is a byproduct of you weren't taught that because it's not a masculine thing to do, then like how do you reconcile that? Because like we can't, like I've that's my piece, is where it's like that's the precursor to it. It's like we didn't just not teach nobody about their emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a whole half of the population that is emotionally intelligent, that deals with their emotions from an early age onward, which probably helps them navigate the world different than we
What
do.
half is that?
that's what I'm
Women.
saying. See, and then we're making it
Yeah, what half is that that
a
you
blanket thing, because the same thing that we
I'm
that's
saying
saying,
you
not
like you
all
in a,
just
women.
yeah, what no, yeah,
in
that's
a
what
general sense. I'm saying in a general sense, women are generally tend to be more emotionally understanding in an emotional sense. Like we are not
and
trained to
and
deal with
that's
our
where
emotions the same way they are.
that's exactly where I would push back at, because just to assume that you said a whole half, to assume that all of them got it is also
No, 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 no.
that
I'm not.
attack on
I'm not a.
masculinity.
No, no, no,
That's
no. I'm not.
no,
Yes,
that's
I'm
what you
not
said. We
saying.
have a
Real
whole
quick.
half.
Real quick. I'm saying in a general sense, like if we're saying the human population is a
And
whole and it's split
even
in
to
half,
generalize it, that's what I'm saying. Even
do
to
we?
generalize it is putting that
Is there not
on it.
a societal understanding that women are generally more in touch with their emotions than men?
yes, I can agree with that.
That's
No,
all I'm
I'm
saying.
not. No, I'm
That's
not
all I'm
disputing
saying.
that. No,
That's all I'm
it's
saying.
still coming from the part of even addressing it, addressing emotions. That is where the attack comes, because the emotion part should not be labeled as masculine or feminine in the first
I
place.
It's a
agree
So
with
behavior.
no, no,
That's
you.
a
no.
behavior.
Hear me. No, that's where it's saying. That's where I'm saying the attack is, even in that essence. Now that we
I
have
agree.
applied, no, you're saying is they're not understanding. You don't think that part is the attack. I'm highlighting emotions shouldn't have had that in the first place. Not only should it not have that, then you built and assigned it to somebody and then said one, and now you're just going with it's clearly on the feminine side, they got to figure it out. It's like, okay, to just say the whole half has it is in
I
general
think
sense that half has it together. That's how you worded it. They
okay.
already got it over
Let me
there.
be okay. Well, let me be clear. Let me be clear. Let me clean that up. Then what I'm saying is there's a general understanding that women, the woman part of humanity, generally is more in touch with their emotions than us, than we are. I'm not saying whether that's a masculine or feminine thing. I'm saying how society has put that together, has made that to be a feminine thing, to be in touch with your emotions. And what I'm also saying is, if we're going to play into that and we're going to talk about masculinity and its expression, I think it's detrimental to do that, because being in touch with your emotions, as y'all both are saying, is we all agree, is not just a feminine or masculine thing. I think you are restricting masculinity by saying if you're in touch with your emotions, you're being feminine.
And that's
That's my whole, that's what I'm saying.
and what you literally just said was making my point. My problem is like the social construct is because women are generally, or the perception that women are mainly more in touch with their feelings, that makes it feminine.
Mhm.
That's my issue to begin
That's
with.
what
I
I'm
agree.
that's what
I
I'm saying.
agree.
And
We
that's why I
agree.
keep
We all
saying
agree.
that's the behavior.
But,
That's a
but, but what I'm saying is what that's informed by is the patriarchal, like masculinity, what it's supposed to be and how you do it. Like that's what that's informed by. Like we didn't get to a place of feeling like women are more in touch with their emotions and that's a feminine thing out of nowhere. It came from the information that we were given saying, you do not cry. You do not talk about what bothers you. You do not show any weakness. You remain stoic. That is your job. as a man. That is how you lead. That is what this is supposed to look like. And in that, I think over years and years and years and years, it became, if you are in touch with your emotions as a man, you are feminine. That's an issue for me. That's all I'm saying. I think when, again, back to my original point, if you are focusing only to keep masculinity in this specific form of expression, you are also waging a war on it. That's all.
Building really quick on this specific point on this conversation, I also want to add to what Nick said earlier on keeping it clean, on saying you don't know and allowing in conversations to go, I still don't understand how you got there, but I'm cool with the fact that we ended up in the same spot.
True.
I
Facts.
don't,
Yeah.
I'm
Facts.
still not seeing how the plane landed, but all the wheels hit the ground in the day where the planes keep crashing.
Everybody
So
got up and we're clapping.
we, we got survivors, right? I want y'all to start utilizing that in conversation.
But be careful though. Be careful though, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can land on the
They had to
same
do
place
dirt
with
to get
somebody.
there.
Right. Yeah.
If
Let's.
they
Yeah,
had to do
we
dirt to
gotta.
get there. No,
We gotta keep that
no,
clean
no.
too. We gotta keep
And
that clean
don't
too.
cheat the system to get there. Don't cut corners.
And that's where go ahead.
Oh no, because I with us being on that same point, I think what I was going to possibly push back on for what you were saying as far as it just more so tying into the relationship, I do think there's a lot of solo activities that exist as well that had nothing to do with at least a masculine feminine relationship.
Okay.
Because the same way with expressing your feelings, that had nothing to do with being in a relationship. Heck, man, I'll keep it clean with myself, because like I understand, especially us growing up still, our age group being in that time where a lot of it was pre-internet, and then us growing up with the internet, especially social media specifically, we can, at least for me, I don't want to speak for y'all, keep it clean that we were participating in some of what is deemed as toxic masculinity now, right?
Yes.
And that's why I don't want to take away from, not only does it exist, it does also, I think it also exists in the form of it not just being in a relationship. I'll keep it clean. There was a kid that I was not the nicest to in the most toxic masculinity form. We were in the situation that it has multiple layers to it. Back then, when you were told to choose between band or choir, that happens out here in Texas schools, just before you get to like junior high, whatever, that's your elective. You have to go to band or choir. I remember that conversation of boys don't sing like that. Now we all
Yep.
went into the band,
Yep.
right? So
Y'all
for
heard
some
that?
of us,
Yes.
yeah.
See, that's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
So
that's
we
great.
had that conversation, like, why are you
Going
doing
in the
you doing
choir
singing
is like
thing?
that's some girly
Yeah,
shit.
you feel me?
Like it,
Or
it's
and
nasty. It's
then building
nasty.
off of it, we
Wow.
get into band, right?
We got Michael Jackson. But go
I
ahead.
would say,
Right? You know
I
what I'm
never
saying,
heard
right?
that.
Like that, like Luther Vandross wasn't played on Saturday mornings, him singing his, you
Come
know what
on,
I'm saying, like
man.
all of that,
Come on,
right?
man.
But even it being dressed like you had to be the coldest of singers in order to be on that side, like he's been singing since a kid. No, it was viewed as that. Then when you get into band, we were picking them instruments, and I saw a boy pick the flute, and I never let it go.
Why?
Boys don't play the flute. That's how it was deemed to us. Boys, out of all these instruments, boys don't play the flute like that, right? Never let it go. From that point on, I was a dickhead. Damn, man, what are you doing playing the flute? All of us over here, either on the drums, trumpet, trombone, all these brass instruments, saxophone, all of that, clarinets and the fruit. Like as you grow older, you see that musicians play multiple instruments, right? And you could be a cold flautist, if you will. But nope, I was a part of that group. Made fun of homie. He was fighting every day
And it's
to get his quote unquote manhood back.
real and it's
That's how it was. That
ridiculous.
had nothing to do with relationship.
But
But no, and that's what I
right? You know?
mean is that. So for me, and that's what I mean is that the definition, like that's why I say words mean things. It's masculinity itself. There is no true definition, because the word masculinity can get attributed to an action and it can get attributed to a role.
Okay.
And that's my issue.
So
that's
I'll
why
go
I
with that.
said in
So-
relation, it goes as, and that's what I'm saying is that when you're growing up, this masculinity or femininity thing is taught to you by the actions, the well, hold on, how do I want to word this? Behaviors. We're defining it by behaviors, but then once we get into relationships, it's defined by actions. That's an
Okay,
issue
so
for
then-
me.
let me ask you this,
It's like the
because-
the scale keeps sliding.
And that's why I'm saying that is that
And-
you're taught, like, hold on, and that's why I'm saying, and that in this, That's the wrong thing of masculinity and femininity as a whole, is that saying don't cry, and then you put that to the action of don't cry. That's a behavior you're teaching people. You're teaching them a behavior of not expressing themselves. But
Okay.
then once you get in a relationship, we start to switch it to that action and that role of security or leadership. When you're as a child, you should be taught all those behaviors that lead into leadership. You should be taught all of those things. But it's
Okay.
now attributed to a role when relationships come into play.
Then
And that's my mix up.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that would come into the question of, is masculine a male thing? Does
That's
masculinity in
No.
any way directly tie into being a man? In
it's
any way?
behavior.
No,
It's
I
just
don't think so.
behavior.
I think it's a social. I think it's a social thing.
It is. It's
Yeah, I
just
think it's
that,
social.
think about it. That's why.
So let me clarify the question. Just making sure I'm getting it out there. Masculinity and femininity have no ties to gender. It's just specifically how it is assigned
Yeah.
in the social construct.
Yeah,
is what-
Yes.
is-
yeah, because
that's the
gender
question.
itself, gender itself is a social construct. So
Yes, because in Nick's point of, we generally say women are more emotionally understanding, and so we've attributed that specific thing of emotionally understanding to being feminine. That's an example of it itself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right there.
so
Yeah.
physical traits are not an emotional understanding, and there's physical traits that separate the social construct of men and women. Yes.
Yes.
So if that has nothing to do with emotion, that's why I asked the question I waited. Is there nothing that ties femininity or masculinity to the male female construct? Are physical traits masculine and or feminine at all?
I
Physical
mean, are you
traits,
saying
only
like
appendages.
are you mean like titty? Yeah, like are you talking about
Only
like
appendages.
breasts and penises? Like what you mean?
That's the only thing.
I don't think I was thinking that scientific, but that in itself is a question. So while I clean up what I'm thinking, I guess you can answer that.
I mean, in a way, I would say like in a DNA type of way, sure. Like as far as like, there's male things men
Right,
have.
okay.
Like if you're a man, you'll have more than likely have well, I'm not gonna say man. If you're
I'm
a
gonna-
male,
I'm-
if you're a male, you'll more than likely have
Calling
a penis, like type of
calling a
thing.
lady handsome.
That's crazy, but that's social.
Oh, okay. Why is
That's
it
a
crazy?
social, but because the
And
social
that's a
understanding
social
of
Because what? Because walk it out.
socially women are deemed to be like the compliments for them
It's
is
adjective.
beautiful. It's different. There's different adjectives and ways to describe them if you're gonna call them pretty versus what you would say to a man.
Okay, and why is that?
The societal
Okay,
breakdown.
That's what
I got
society
you. But
did.
like in that breakdown, it being assigned to a woman is because of femininity, or like that's a more feminine.
I would say the patriarchal thing. It's like
Okay.
because like if men are the dominant mind of society, right? We get to deem what is, like how these things go, right? I would say that something as small as if that's a boy, he gets blue. If that's a girl, she gets yellow or she gets pink. It's the same to me as the boy is called handsome, the girl is called pretty. The boy is called whatever. I think boys only got handsome, like for real. But or the man is called fine. I think fine goes for both. You know what I'm saying? But like it can weave over depending on how society works it out. But
Damn, do we only have handsome?
I think like handsome and fine type shit.
Oh, that's
That's
why
about it.
being called cute hurts so much, because it's like a watered down.
I like being called. I ain't gonna hold you. I like being called cute.
We had to grow into that again.
And that's and guess
we
what?
have
That's
to
a
grow
construct.
into
I've
That's a
like being
construct
called
that's
cute my whole
created.
life. I ain't gonna hold you.
Like that's the word's
When
pretty.
the
cute,
women
all that work.
pulling up on you like, oh, you a cutie, you cute, all that.
Like,
Yeah,
guess
you
what?
know, you
That's-
see it.
That's a construct, because at the bottom line, those pretty and handsome are the same words.
It's the same. Yeah, it's
They're the
basically
same
thing.
words.
Same thing.
Mhm.
It's
We
the same
just
thing. You put a different. You've assigned it to a gender.
No, I'm not gonna hold it. Maybe that could have been my toxic masculinity. It's like, man, I'm 6'2", I'm not cute. Like, depending on what woman I was trying to talk to, I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying.
And maybe that does inform
me?
a bit. Like
And
maybe
guess
that.
what? You
But see,
only like it if they put another adjective on it or
Not-
how
see-
it's said. That's
no, because it's weird. No, you're right. You might be right, because even then, by the time I'm accepting of being called cute, you and I are familiar with each other, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? I did a little cute action. But while I'm trying to bag, I am not trying to be cute right now, man.
But no, but think about
There's
it, because
nothing
if she,
cute
but no, but
about this
think about it
action.
this though, right? If a girl, if y'all chopping and she send a picture to you of you and she say, "Man, yo, cute ass," you gonna be receptive to that. You're not gonna take that wrong
No,
at all.
no, because cute sounds like friends. I'm on a full court press. There's
No,
nothing
because you can
cute
just, you know
about
what
this
she like.
4-4 defense, dog. What do you mean?
Look,
No, she
we're
talking
we
about
watching.
friendship.
What y'all are seeing for the audience, what y'all are seeing is we're working Ray through his toxic masculinity
No,
right now in real
I
time.
already acknowledged that.
I'm
Like
fucking with
that
you.
might have been no. I said that's why I'm laughing at, because that might have been something. It again, that also adds to us having different backgrounds in different regions too. Because nah, man, I'm trying to put up 81 points right now. There's nothing cute
If
about the
a girl,
way I'm
and see, that's
dropping
what I'm saying.
buckets on your knock.
And see, that's what I'm saying though. If a girl
Hand
hits
down,
you,
man down.
think about it. If you let's say you doing your thing and a girl text you and
But
hit you
see,
with the hard
real quick,
eyes,
real
that
quick.
is bucket 81.
But real quick though, I think, and I'm gonna
This is like,
just
oh,
this
she
now.
feeling me.
This is just me. This is just me, right? I think possibly, and I could be reaching. Let me know if I'm wrong, Ray. The
Mhm,
ideal of you being deemed cute while you're doing that is like softer than you want it
mm-mm.
to come across, or is that what?
No, I think
How's
it's more like little boy friendship type thing.
okay, okay, I'm
Little
with
boy
you.
friendship,
I'm
because
with you.
it's
Is
Okay.
that
also
because that was
even
what you were
considered.
always
Is
told
that
by elders when you were little?
is it demasculating at all, or is it like
It's
a
no, I don't think it's demasculating. It seems like I'm a. I feel
because if
like I
you
can only
because to be
translate it.
little to me to be little boy is like to be almost like emasculated a little bit.
No, I took it more of a like. It's like you the bro. I'm
Oh,
not
like
trying to be cute.
like she's trying to play you to the side type of thing.
Yeah, you
Okay,
know what I'm saying? Like you know, it's
okay.
like okay, because in my mind, it's like that tween I just gave you should have at least got me a step towards the basket. You dig what I'm
See,
saying? Right?
And calling you cute is keeping you at the
Yeah,
three.
yeah,
Like
okay,
you,
cool. That maybe I overthought the move. So do I just need to post up? Like, you know, like I didn't
I
even
get
think
that.
I didn't even think
oh,
of
That's why I
like
say
the
it's how it's
sorry,
you. You got,
I'm
and you
with
got
you.
to be able to
you feel me?
dissect that.
But
I'm with
okay, so let me get to if we I get what y'all are saying. I Let me ask a different question. If Is there a way to connect based on everything we just said? So we highlighted a lot that I think could be understood
you. Mhm.
across all platforms. So the
Same.
next step of that conversation of where we had just kind of spun off of, is there a way to have discourse and agree on identifications of these roles? And you mentioned y'all, because y'all said it feels like a sliding thing. If w- parties don't believe gender is a social construct, if they believe just strictly on the scientific part and they don't believe it's a social construct, can we still
It's gonna be
have understandings of what's masculine and feminine?
for me. I don't. So I think like it's gonna be a never ending conversation in my book.
Mhm.
And I think it goes because it's the same to me as like the Bills conversation, the same to me as any of those conversations that we get into about how would you do your relationship. It's
Mhm.
up to you, and that's
Okay, so
like
generally,
yeah, like like so for me at least, it's like I don't know how you would get to a point of there being a overall understanding because there's so much subjectivity within it. Like for me, it would have to be it. I I look at it in the sense of like I know how I'm finna run my crib. I know what I'm finna tell my kids. You know what I'm saying? And I know how I would not necessarily influence, but like how I would let somebody be free. Like if one of y'all kids came around or some shit, it's like I'm not gonna be like, hey, boys don't do that type of thing. Like that's not how I rock. Like if your kid wanna wear a dress in the crib, hey man, cool. It is what it is, type of thing for me at least, because like that's how bro want to express himself today. I'm not gonna trip on him about that. So I don't know if we'll ever get
dresses are
to.
a trip hazard in the house. I just want to throw that out there.
I
I'm
mean, it
sorry.
depends on the length. You know what I'm saying? He might not have a full. You know what I mean? He might have a knee high. You know what I mean? Might, but yeah, I don't think it'll ever be a sense of like where there's like a general understanding because everybody is gonna have their own understanding. It's like religion almost
Yeah,
in a
Okay, so
sense.
what about you, Ev? Because
I feel the same way.
I built that question because y'all are saying it often
Yeah, it's
slides.
always gonna
So
because it's gonna remain
if it's always
sliding.
going to slide,
Exactly,
because so
and
I'm
and
trying
that's
to
my
get it
point.
to where the big
Like
if we're gonna
So
put the words general melting like and get it all together in that melting pot, where there's gonna be outliers. I
you'll
got
have
that.
the yeah, you'll have the
Can we address
scale.
that on the general? Mhm.
Yeah.
they'll fall somewhere in the scale. Like the general, for me at least, it's like you'll have the scale, you'll have the extremes, and everybody else that'll fall in between. And those are the generals, like for me, because it's like you have the super, this is what a man is, and the super, no, you need to be this. Like those are
Got you.
these two sides of it.
So my question is to the general, because most of the conversation is any conversation we're having is trying to get us back to the general,
To the
where we at
middle.
least have an
Right.
understanding. So if we're
I'm
gonna go general,
for all of y'all
can
in the
that
middle.
happen?
For all of y'all in the middle, I would say, because obviously you're gonna do what you want to do. I would say whatever is the least harmful is what you should be trying to do. But I don't know if there's ever gonna be a real like general middle. We all feel this way because everybody isn't good. Like there's always gonna be a but. What about or I don't know about. That's not cool with me. And it's like you'll just fall somewhere else in the scale,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Okay.
And my thing is, and again, it's because of how I look at it I look at it as the breakdown of individuality and then somebody in a relationship. Like I've been saying, I look at it as how do you meet in that middle? The baseline is you teach everyone is taught behaviors to be a functioning human, a successful self-actualized human being, and as an adult. And in that, because your relationship is what you make it. But hopefully, if two people who were successful human beings, that means that you know how to. I can wash my own clothes. I can cook my own food because you should be taught these things.
Yeah,
You should be, and that's the thing. You should be taught how to do X, Y, and Z. Yes, a woman. I'm sorry, a woman should probably know how to change, not to change your oil every time, but guess what? It is to save money.
you got a car, don't you?
If you knew how to do it yourself, it's saving money. But that's how I look at it, is as a single person, as an individual from childhood up until you 18 on your own, you should be learning, and older, you should be learning all these things emotionally, behaviorally, physically, all of these actions and functions to just be as an
What
a,
well-rounded.
a real well-rounded human individual. And then when you get into a relationship, it's not a, oh well, you XYZ, you XYZ. No, we working together of what we both can just make work in this house.
Yep.
That boy Ev said, "Something wrong with your oil? Do it yourself."
But
I
no,
mean, because you should
No,
know.
I'm messing with. Nah, but
you know
it's
what I'm
like,
saying?
man,
You should
you know how to
know.
do it. Don't
That's
ask
just
me.
how
Do
I
it
look
yourself.
at it. And this
Nah.
is the thing. I feel that way and I lack in that. Like I know that I wasn't raised to do every single thing that a woman can that knows how to do or whatever of relationship. I know I haven't, but I've learned those things. I'm trying to learn those things as I grow up and as I continue growing up as an adult, because that's what you just should know. You should know how to emotionally regulate. You should know how to talk and process your feelings. You should know how to communicate with your brother, with your sister, you should know how to communicate with each sex. You should know how to communicate with other races. That's like you shouldn't be with someone and learning those things, in my opinion.
That boy said, "You got hands, don't you?" Now, okay.
Your feet,
I
your
got
feet work, don't it?
no,
Your
but
feet work, don't
yeah,
it?
man. Okay, so I might not be satisfied in resting there in my mind, and I say that because the premise of this conversation and where we got it to, or what us the premise of the conversation can't allow me to end there, and that goes for a lot of the talks that end up being had, especially in today's climate. I feel that we have to get more to a verbal
And
or
yeah,
an understood general, because it's the general that's sparking this conversation in the first place.
and
So
yeah,
Okay.
if the
communication.
general is going to make a determination on whether it be the social construct, political construct, any of that, the general is doing that. And because the conversation we're having now only exists since the generals use extremes, we
Right.
don't talk
I would
about the
okay.
middle.
I would
So
say
I have a hard time just saying
if
like
we're gonna
I can't just rest that, yeah, there's specificities in the house. We know, but that specificity in the house
it's gonna play out
is not,
outside.
because it not even so much is it's not only going to play out outside, it's also that is the literal disconnect, because what you do in a house and then what the general has determined for you outside is still
Yeah.
going to affect you whether you
Yeah.
agree or you don't agree.
Right.
So we're not having that conversation of that piece. How do we get from that piece to being outside and we say
Yeah.
cool?
I would say if we're gonna do anything, I would say at best broaden the spectrum. That's
Right.
the best I can tell, is like give folks the space
Mhm.
to be, and as those actions come across, we can determine what's detrimental to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like we can determine certain behaviors being detrimental to society at large, or certain behaviors being detrimental to a person. You know, we
And,
can figure out what those things are. But I think if we start from restriction, which is where we've been, that's been an issue. So I would say go the opposite route and just broaden up the spectrum and open up the, widen up the playing field for folks to see what this might look like. And yeah, okay, that's nope, that was kind of crazy. That's played out a little while for the last 2-3 years. We can't keep doing that.
right.
And we can,
Because
you know what I'm saying?
the reason why I asked that question is because, give us our credit, we did this beautifully. We cleaned it up to the point where there's only two options now, right? You either believe that it's a gender thing and it's not a social construct, or you do. So we got far enough for all the shenanigans on the front end to now we have narrowed it down to
Mhm.
two. So if we can get here, and all we're needing, this is the connect, is just the rest of that conversation on, we understand that there's two, you may be over there, I may be over here, it doesn't mean we have to argue or put hard labels on. So I'm pushing y'all, that's why I asked that question
Mhm.
that way. We got right here, don't stop right here. Like, please don't
Yeah.
keep stopping right here, because what is being determined for us, if we're having a conversation and saying, man, I don't agree with it, I can't believe they're doing this on either side, and this is what you're saying in house, and then you go outside and then you don't talk to that person because now they have this identity on all this stuff we were already saying is taboo to speak about, and whatever the case may be, we have lost that disconnect, and somebody is a part of a group that's determining it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. You
Yeah.
lose the power. You lose your power. You
So
lose your
if we
power.
what is that's, and we may not have the answer now, and Ev, I'm gonna let you go, I apologize, I just wanted to
You good.
clean up why I asked that question that way, because now if we go and we start to have that conversation and have more of an understanding, we could still build the better social construct that
Yeah.
you were looking for anyways,
Yeah.
100%.
versus everybody just being upset. Like, why does that conversation stop there?
I think a lot of people don't
we
have
we we know that,
capability. Yeah.
we can
You know.
get into that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that's why I'm
I
asking
got
that
you.
question.
I'm
So
with you.
But
Ed,
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Let's
what's
go
your
ahead,
thoughts?
Ev. Go ahead, Ev, and we'll close this one out.
Okay. But so I was kind of saying is that, to get, when you said like I don't like that, I was getting there because the bottom line of actually facing it, I think what it takes is communication and objectivity. You have to be open, like kind of what you both were saying. You have to be us from, I would say, I guess the masculine male generality here has to be open from the, matter of fact, fuck it, the patriarchal side of it. You have to be open and objective to hearing how can we be more expressive first, and then when you, the first thing you learn is you can be more expressive and open-minded and expansive of this idea of masculinity and malehood and manhood or whatever. You can
Mhm.
get it by talking to women and bridging the gap of understanding what is it of the generality of women that we
Mhm.
are lacking, and learning where you're lacking in. Because again, we can be, the male generality is, oh no, we emotional enough. What we're doing and what we're shying away from is enough for us. That is what we're supposed to do. Well, if you just be open and objective to hearing out and understanding, well, this, no, this is what we're doing on this side of this generality. So let's find a common ground and a common space of how we both can get what we want out of this. Because even when you say, oh, women are more emotionally understanding, and then when I say what you want out of this is that common ground
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
having the generality of masculinity and the generality of femininity in all parties involved.
Yeah.
That's the common ground we want to get to.
Yeah. I would say, damn, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it. All right. I
You want
lost
me
it.
to go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah. Go ahead.
okay. So my closing notes for it is, I want to make sure, after saying all that, remind y'all that, hey men, this is a self accountability conversation first. It
Yep.
starts with us. So whether you feel it's a social construct or not, currently in this social construction, it's our conversation to be had. So if there's going to be assigned roles, or there's going to be assigned traits, is there going to be assigned anything? Currently our assigned role is being the male. So if male things are tied to masculinity in more of a heavy sense, then we need to do the heavy lifting and having that talk about us and what's going on, so that way we can make some bridge of the conversation once we get over to the feminine side, or we get over to the female, whatever the social construct is over there.
Yeah.
Have that conversation here first. It starts with us, so we can bridge that gap. I don't want any of us addressing anywhere else outside the house until we have the talk inside first.
Yeah, for sure. I'll close out with being able or being open to learn is also being open to unlearn. Being open to you have to be open to hearing the bad about yourself, hearing the bad about the things that you may have thought were regular and normal and how they played out, and being able to have the grace to forgive yourself, forgive those involved, possibly, if whether that be your mother, father, whoever got you on this pathway, and then being open and honest with yourself enough to change and do something different and actually put that work in and pound that pavement. As Ray said, we got to have these conversations for us. If these conversations about masculinity and about what you do and don't do and all these things, bro, men are dying of suicide. Straight out. We are dying at a higher clip of suicide. We are dying earlier than other people due to stress, due to situations where we can, if we sit down and have some of these conversations and go out with our friends, like there's a real issue in the male community right now of loneliness, depression, and suicide. And the only way to get up out of that is to have these conversations and stop being so rigid in how we run around, because it is not beneficial to us at all. That's where I clear out at. Let's lighten up. The Atlanta Falcons, brother. What would y'all do if y'all son?
Nah, say that one.
You don't want to do it yet?
Yeah, say that one. We gonna come right back to that.
We gonna come back. Okay.
Right off the masculinity talk, we gotta holler at Bill.
Bill, you's a nasty man, Papa. You's a nasty man, Papa. Bill, same thing as Shannon. Same smoke for you. You nasty. You nasty. We know what you're doing, and you're nasty. Why are you 74 with a 20-year-old? What do y'all talk about? What's the conversations? What's so dope? What she got going on? You're nasty.
Wait.
This is not nah, bro. Nah,
hold on.
Nah,
so
man.
we can't say he unlearned certain things and allowed her to lead the conversation the way it went. That wasn't strong femininity and her making sure that they didn't ask no questions on how they got in this weird ass situation in the first place.
That is toxic masculinity at work. That is his toxic nastiness at work, because that's the only reason she's in that room. What is that? And
that wasn't allowing her femininity to show. Don't you dare ask why.
Do you know how crazy that is?
And why?
You know how he asked them, "Hey, how did y'all meet?" For y'all that don't for the fans that don't know what we talking about, let's keep it clean. Let's be a show. Let's act like we have a show here. Bill Belichick did an interview where he was asked about how he met and Bill Belichick is 70-something years old. I don't know exactly how old Bill Belichick is. He's 70-some years old. And he was asked by the interviewer. Yeah, go ahead. He was asked by the interviewer how he met his 40-something year
24.
younger girlfriend. She's about 24?
He's 73.
He's 73. Okay, she is
24.
She is
24. 24. Are we right? Because that is, fam.
I hope so. Yes, 24.
24. Come on, son.
50
so
years.
Bill Belichick, boom. Bill Belichick was asked how he met his 50-year junior girlfriend. And she said, "We're not going to talk about that." And he said nothing. Shannon met Shorty at the gym. Bill Belichick was running around with Robert Kraft, who was running around at the massage parlors, who got caught running around at the massage parlors. And we can just infer what type of women and what ages they be in the massage parlors. So is it a coincidence to me that you was being nasty running around at massage parlors with your big homie who you don't rock with no more? And now you found yourself in Tampa with a little 25, with a little 24-year-old, you're nasty, bro. This is nasty. Nasty
Uh,
work.
I
Disgusting.
do want to give the quick context. He was married for 29 years to someone in his age range. For 29
Yeah,
years, they were married. They divorced
that's
back in
cool.
2006.
That's great.
The conversation
As soon as you went and
brings,
bagged the 20-some-year-old, you became disgusting.
Mhm.
All of
uh,
that
I,
goodwill went right out.
Yeah.
Look at how nasty you look at that.
And it's all of
I
them.
was,
Look at
I
that.
will say this. I don't, you didn't owe us an answer to that question. That goes for him and
That's
her.
true. That's a fact.
What I will say though, on the flip side, you saying it like that, I don't think that was the better option either.
We're not going to talk
You,
about
you
that.
I I don't know if the delivery of we're
Here,
not going to talk about that.
this is what I don't understand. Why don't y'all just have a lie put together? Like y'all haven't created a lie yet of just like, oh yeah, bro, we met on a boat. We met. Well, that might be kind of crazy. We met. We met at a
That's what I'm
gym.
saying. It
We
was just,
met at a
you
function.
know,
We at a
or
party. At a you
where was
bridge.
your media team? Where was
Man,
your media team to read this question before it was asked? Like, was this not?
But
Was it? You feel me?
was
Like, or did they jump out the window and try to catch you
could
and
have.
ignored the notes?
They could have.
But
it's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
Nasty work, Bill Belichick. You're nasty.
yeah.
You don't get no leeway that Shannon don't get. This is disgusting.
And I'm going to just say this real quick. All you niggas is nasty. Paul Heyman, you 59 with a 22-year-old. Cher, you 78 and AE in his 30s. You nasty too. This goes for women. You nasty too. Al
Marcus
Pacino, you got a
Houston.
girlfriend that's 30 and you 85. You're nasty too.
Leo.
All
Marcus
of you.
Houston.
Marcus Houston, you groomed that woman. You're even nastier.
Come on, man.
So all of y'all, this ain't no one
Come
case,
on, man.
one person.
I
All of y'all are nasty.
I also don't want to be in any situation. I would love for us to make sure we clean it up as men. This is where I can't. I know we have grab him, give that man a hug, put an arm around the shoulder. I might have the other side where I have to admit I'll push him. I'm gonna take what Ev said. If there's any point where I have to consider whether or not you redshirted this person, I can't be around you, and we got to clean that up. I know this should be the talking point. My mind, I'm admitting, is something. My mind has to work on that cleanup to even get the conversation to start.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough
If
for me.
if I feel like you redshirted them,
It's gonna be a tough
I'm gonna put it
conversation.
on you, brothers. I'm gonna put it on you, brothers, man. That you could call it a pander. Y'all carry that workload for me. I got you on. I got you on
We gonna
something.
barter. We gonna barter system.
You feel me? You take this 20% today.
I
If you just give a
yeah,
little bit of overtime, because
it's definitely
I'm not there for that.
it's a tough conversation. I've been in like, I've worked in my fair share of warehouses, and I've said out my mouth, hey bro, if you 30 with a 19-year-old, you weird in my book. And I've had real 30-year-olds be like, wait, what? Yeah. Because my sister's 19, and she not now, but still, my sister's 19. And if your old ass is trying to get in contact with my sister, I know what I talk to my sister on a daily basis. That's how I know y'all aren't talking about anything.
Because
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a real quick way. I'm gonna just give y'all this. If you are around somebody and they start using lingo that you have no idea what they're talking about, you are out of your depth. You are out in waters that you do not need to be in, and you need to get back to the shore where you belong. My sister be saying stuff to me sometimes where I'll be like, wait, that's what y'all saying now? Like if you in a situation where it's like, yo, oh, that's what they saying now, you need to go home. Take your ass to the house, man. Get up out of there.
If you in a position, if you put me in a position to where me asking you how, where, and when did y'all meet heavily determines whether or not we will associate again, you shouldn't be in that situation. Me asking that should be a casual conversation. Like, oh yeah, that's cute, and no implications on how we know each other. If those questions are very indicative on whether or not we can continue to associate, I'm just letting you know I don't have the batch of cleaning tools for this just yet. I don't.
I don't
Right?
know if
I'm
I do.
still
I don't know if I
shopping.
do either. I don't know if I do either.
I'm still
Because
shopping.
for me at a
One of
certain
us
point,
has
it's like
to. One
You
of us has
can't.
to. At the Keep It Clean Inc., one of us has to.
It's
So
tough.
I don't want to subject Rose to it because our brother isn't here today. So I
Facts.
claim first in saying I don't got it. So it has to be one of you two.
No, listen.
I'm sorry.
I'll give it a shot. I'll
claim
give it a
first.
shot. Only this is the only thing. This is my only thing. Listen, I'm open to the conversation. This is my thing though. I'm gonna tell you you're nasty, and I'm not moving off of that square.
Absolutely.
I don't. So it's just like I don't know how you're gonna reconcile that with yourself, but I've made my determination of what this is. There is no beneficial situation that will make sense to me other than sex. And if that's what you want, by all means, that ain't my business. But also, if you running around only looking to have sex with these younger people, you're a weirdo, you're nasty. I'm gonna tell you that, and I don't know where we go from there. Because I like people don't really take too kindly to being called nasty, but it is what it is. Like, if y'all could have seen the looks on these warehouse workers' face, brother, they looked at me like I said, "Yeah, man. If you don't tie your shoe, you use an anti-Semite." So they looked at me like I bugged out off saying, "If you're 30 with a 19-year-old, I have real questions for you."
That is just
And that's a conversation. That's a conversation that maybe then wasn't the time, but does need to be had. And I'm still keeping it clean. I don't got the
Look,
tools
we
right
got you.
now.
We got you.
I don't
I'm gonna
got
give
the.
it a shot.
I,
I'm gonna give it my best
I'll
shots.
give it.
Ev, give it your best shots. We gonna try it. We gonna hold that for you, and
Yeah,
I
we'll
ran out
let
of
you
bleach.
know. Yeah,
we
we'll
got
let you know
we
when
got
I need a re-up on the pledge. I'm gonna hit your phone. I'm gonna
you.
hit your phone,
I,
and
I, I
we'll lock
ran.
in.
I ran out of bleach for that one, dog. I did.
We'll lock in.
I I do think though. I do think we do need that conversation more, and I do want to emphasize that because it does dictate a perception. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that those are people that even though it looks like they're just famous, like that's at your family functions.
Mm-hmm.
That's at it might be at the
Yeah,
job you go to, it might be at the
yeah.
church you go to, and then it's more so still for me getting back to it that is going to be a perception that could permeate into the schoolyard. If you're those parents of that age gap, you have some explaining to do. You're putting little man or little lady in that situation that they might have some explaining to do. So they understand that at least when you get there, that a conversation, I don't want to tell somebody what to do, but it it comes across that it's at minimum warranted. Just be aware of that. Is how I'm gonna put that out there, man. That's woo.
Listen, man, if you have spent 5 to 10 years paying real bills like rents and car insurances and car notes, mortgages, credit card bill, things of this nature, and the person that you're trying to date only has a phone bill and has never paid a bill outside of that,
Hey, okay,
there is nothing they don't relate to you.
Yeah.
There's
okay.
nothing relatable about what's going on over here. If you have lived as an adult for a good amount of your life, like you have a firm understanding of what adulthood is, and the person that you're dating just got out of high school, they still have
All right.
teen in their age.
So let me ask you this.
You do not need to be there. I don't like I feel you on I don't want to tell folks what to do, but I'm gonna say that you do that doesn't need to be a thing. I'm it is what it is for me. You're never gonna get the support from me. It's not something that I'm ever be like, I mean, I get it. I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
confused. I
All
don't
right.
understand. I'm lost. You lost me.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you all this because you brought it up on if you don't understand what she's saying, she's too young for you. So what
Yeah. Hell yeah.
what is y'all's what was that point where
Man,
y'all said
listen.
I'm too
So
old.
look,
I don't understand no more.
the kids got some where they do like this. They do
The
this, and it means like clock it or something.
Oh
Like
yes.
that's
Yeah.
when my sister. I was somewhere with my sister. We was chopping. We was out eating. We talking. I said some. I was trying. So we was probably talking about politics. I said something. She was like, "Mm-hmm." I was like, "You all right? What just? You good? What just happened?" She like, "Oh, that means like clock that. That means clock it." I'm like, "Oh, y'all doing Morse code now? That's
Yeah.
oh, all right.
all right.
I'm
So
out the
because I'm
game.
asking that question, like, yeah,
I'm out the
if you
game."
in this hypothetical, I'm asking you single right now, you back in the streets.
Nah, man.
What is that bar? What's that?
I'm gonna
I'm
be
too old.
real, bro. Yeah, I'm too old when you hit me with any TikTok lingo. Any TikTok lingo, Hell, like I'm gonna be real, bro. Like this started with the pandemic. That's when I knew I was too old. The pandemic is what made me realize I was too old. Hell, I was only 27. I was 26, turning 27 when the pandemic started. But TikTok itself is what told me you're too old.
Yeah. Once you start
Okay.
communicating with me through TikTok, like if it's some my girl be coming around, she might say something and it'd be a whole I'm
It's a TikTok thing. It's like
smooth over my head.
yeah, I can't do anything with that.
Hey.
You start doing some dances by me, I'm lost. Like I'm gonna be real. That Renegade, shout out K Camp, but that Renegade, I knew I was out the game. I'm like, I just know
Man.
the song. Like, what are y'all? Y'all a step team?
Hey,
What are you doing? Shout out to
I
y'all,
knew-
but no, I'm too old
I
for
knew
that.
my too old portion when I knew I was old when I had to ask if you in that bracket of you knew what Young Thug said the first time you listened to him. I knew I was washed.
We can't do
When
that.
I had to ask, like, what?
As an
You
Atlanta
was
native,
you was like 19.
hold on, man. As an Atlanta
You was
native,
washed
hold
at
on.
19.
Wait, let
No,
me
wait.
not cap. I'm not an Atlanta
I would
native,
think
but
so.
as an Atlanta resident, we
You knew
not
what he
gonna
said
do
the
that.
first time.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
too young for me. For
But
me,
Stoner,
if you knew what he said the first
Stoner,
time, it was
two
nah.
Young Thug came out when we was
language.
young. Like, how you
Right,
going?
that's what I'm
Young Thug
saying.
came out when we
By the
was
time
young.
I heard about him,
Hercules.
by the time I was really being put on to, I guess, Young Thug, I was at least 22, 23.
That makes sense.
I was about 22, 23.
That's 2013, 2014. That's
Yeah, that's when he came out.
that's around the right time frame.
2013, 2014, I was a senior in college.
Right. That's when Stoner. Why I said that's when he
22,
popping
23.
Vine.
Yeah, that's not
I
old.
said 22. Yeah, for me, if you knew what he said the first time, you were too young. I'm sorry. Remember, I have 3 significantly older brothers. I have a significantly older father. My
I think
mindset
your ear just
was
ain't
over there.
trained. Your ear just wasn't trained for the
I don't
Atlanta
want to be
lingo,
trained.
man.
I'm
You
too old.
wasn't.
I don't
I
want to be
get you
trained.
because
I
I
don't want
got
to be trained.
I got
explaining.
old parents, so I get you.
I
And
don't
I'm
want to be
living
trained.
my life
You
like a
stuck-
volcano,
I
and
get
it's
that. I
only
get that.
beginning. Like you just had to. You
just
had to
clarified
feel
it
it.
for me.
You had to
You
feel
just
it.
clarified it for me. I
And
didn't
I'm
know.
living my life like a like come on, man. You know.
That's okay. I wasn't
Shout out
trained.
to
I was
shout out to Thug, man.
too young.
Shout out to Thug.
Too young.
Shout
All
out
right.
to Thug.
So I got 2 scenarios. This is why I wanted to hold the Shedeur situation until later. I got 2 scenarios.
Okay, you got a back though.
We already
Let's do it.
know, but yeah, both of these scenarios are nasty here, right? I'm gonna ask y'all a question behind it just to see how you would keep it clean. Shedeur Sanders was in a situation. We know what happened. He was projected first round draft pick, possibly second, dropped all the way to the 5th round. We could deal with that conversation and why the conspiracy theories, all that type of stuff later. What did happen during the meantime of him not getting drafted as the draft was going on, I believe he's one of the coordinators on the Atlanta Falcons, has the phone numbers, and this is common for many teams. They have contacts or direct lines to these players that they're getting ready to draft. His son sees the laptop, gets the number, calls Shedeur, pretends like he's getting drafted, whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. Very messed up situation. Got it. The organization as a Falcons get fined $250,000. The dad, whoever the team coordinator, gets fined $100,000. So say this is you and your dad. What that what's it looking like when you got fined 100 racks? Mind you, so the son.
Let me do some math. Hold on.
He's 21 years old. He's grown.
Yeah. Let me do some math. Hold on. Let me do some math for you right quick.
What's it looking like for you? What's it looking like for you, Ed?
You said he grown, right?
He grown. He's 21.
I'm beating that boy's ass because he grown. So we're fighting. We're men.
Check this out.
100K?
Check this out.
100K?
Yeah, pardon my language. I'm gonna fuck you up. That's number one. I'm gonna fuck you up. And also, you're on a 3-year payment plan, and I need my money back. Good fucking luck, nigga.
And I'm a
27.
Like
I need
Giannis
2. Yeah, I'm not playing 100 bands. 100 bands. I'm on a payment plan. I need that bread back in 2 years. Play with me if you want to. And I'm suing you. I might sue you. I need you to. I might need you. And I'm putting in a contract. So if you don't pay me back, I'm gonna sue you. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? 100 racks? Because you want to play games? I'm gonna show you how serious life is, bro. Stop playing. What are you doing? You prank calling niggas during the draft? Are you crazy?
And filmed it.
What?
filmed it.
Boy,
With
nah,
the
bro.
homies
Okay.
on some
I
jokey
don't
shit.
like you remember how Michael Jordan grabbed Reggie Miller? You remember that? You remember when
Yeah.
he just that's how I'm gonna be in that house. It's like
No,
what?
so
Two
here's
two
my
What?
words, one name, Latrell Sprewell.
just
If
gonna
you
choke.
know, you know.
Hey,
Homer
here's my thing,
Simpson.
right? You 21, right? And I know that means you grown, but it's gonna be a belt whooping, dog. Like, put your hands on the chair, and it's not my rotator cuff might be gone
I'm
by the
fucking
time I
you
finish.
up.
Dog, it's not just gonna be me. If you, as my wife, try to defend this nonsense, I'm looking at you crazy. This is gonna be a family ass whooping. When my shoulder is thrown out, it's your turn to take the belt and
You
keep
gotta fight me
tapping.
every day. Every time I ask for the fade, you gotta run me my fade. We running
I
like it's
want
prison rules in the house now. Cause what we doing, like the prison that y'all don't want to reform, that's what we gonna do in the crib, in my crib. That's what we gonna do.
a
You gonna
contract is
have
being made.
you gonna have a terrible time over. Are
You
you
gotta
a
at
hundred
least
bands?
you gotta at least be on a payment plan, and I'm gonna treat you like
Oh
Stewie
yeah.
Griffin did Brian. Where's my money? Every
Where's
month
my
on the
money?
first, I
Where's my
expect
money?
where's my money? As
Where's my
I'm
money?
rehabbing this shoulder that I
You paying
lost.
for and you paying for my medical and you paying for my medical shit
Woo,
too. Where's my money? A
okay,
hundred
Like, and
bands?
okay.
I don't even care if, because this is his career. I don't even care if that 100K didn't hurt me. It's the pure
It's the
fact.
principle. It's the
It's
principle.
the
I
Because why
need
principality
did you
of
do
it.
listen to
that?
All
me.
right.
I need $4,166.66 on the first of every month for the next 2 years. Stop playing with me. And if I don't get it, it's hell to pay. Try me if you want to, nigga. And I'm walking out the room. I'm just walking out the room. I said what I said, and when I come back, here's the contract. Sign it. Sign the contract.
Like,
Sign the
and see,
contract.
this is my
And,
thing.
and I'm going back to the
Like,
room. I'm not playing with you.
real talk. Like, I can't even understand this because at first I thought it was a teenage child. Like, him being 21 just messed me up. I
You
thought he
just
was
an
a
idiot.
teenager.
You just an
Like,
idiot.
you are the same age as these people getting drafted. So this
You
you understand what's going on.
you in your third to fourth year of college, man.
You understand what's going on here.
Not no
Uh-uh.
more. Because
You
I
gotta
just took
go.
that scholarship. I just took that money.
What?
Nah,
What?
you were in your
You're
third or
going
fourth
to
year of college.
work. You're
The money
going
is
to
gone.
work.
And
You're
then
going to work.
if you stupid, because this is the thing, like, and this I don't know if a lot of people know this. That phone number that he got, that was a cell phone that only he had. Like, how they've explained is that all the top draft picks, they get a personalized cell phone from the NFL
Mm,
that they
Yeah.
have to give back
mm,
after the draft. So
Yeah.
only the 32 teams have the phone number.
mm-mm.
Only the 32 teams.
Nah, yeah, nah.
So that means it was gonna come back out that you did it, kid.
Yeah.
It
You're
was
an
gonna
idiot.
come
Yeah.
out, and
You're an
y'all
idiot.
recorded it and posted it as if don't nobody in the NFL know. Oh, that's Jeff's son. Wait a minute.
$4,166.66 at the top of
Hey,
every
y'all.
month. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
What is Jeff
I'm gonna need that.
kids doing
Listen,
pranking, saying that
there you go.
don't Jeff's son work for the Falcons? Why
And
he got a video saying somebody got drafted by the Saints?
because you're old enough, you're 21. Jax Olbridge. We're keeping it clean. We're gonna say your name. Jax. Jax, you was a doof.
And
You was a
doofy.
doof for that.
Idiot.
Right. All right. Next question. Keep it clean. You're in this situation. So I'm gonna give you the scenario. This is real life, right?
Okay.
An Ecuadorian soccer star had a break-in in the house.
Okay.
Him, wife, kids in the house. He's 26.
Mm-hmm.
He hid under the bed while his wife and child proceeded to get kidnapped.
Oh no.
Right? Scooped
No.
up.
No.
I'm only telling this story because they were saved, brought back home, everything's good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're him. How you explain? How you what you say to her? Y'all just got back together. Y'all just this is
I
the
don't
first time y'all
even
seen each
I'm
other.
gonna come clean. I don't even trust that you like are really getting back together. Man, I think you're gonna kill me
Oh, no.
like very soon.
Y'all just saw her. You at the house. Police brought her back.
She
They
just
saved her.
got
They
back.
arrested her. Her and the kids, they getting dropped off. They coming through the front door. How you?
But see, man,
I'm so sorry.
What you
You
saying?
gotta
What you saying?
apologize. I'm starting off with an apology. You gotta apologize. Number one.
yeah, like,
Yeah, you gotta just apologize
Give
and
me the
just
apology.
continue.
Break it down. Y'all each go. How it sound? What it look like?
bro, I don't even think you apologize. I think you just gotta pack your stuff and go.
Yeah,
You know,
like it's
Nah. You trying to get her back in this scenario? You
how can
trying?
you get
This
her
is
back?
you.
See, this is why I say, how can you
Explain
get
it.
her
Give
back?
your best.
Like,
Give your best.
I don't have
Your
it,
best
bro.
effort. First
Because
one.
I
First
wouldn't want to.
impression.
I jumped under the bed.
like you literally went. She saw you go and
I
hide.
can't.
That's what
Like
you're
I
saying.
can't. I don't even know how you try to work your way out of. You jumped under the bed.
Shoot your best shot. Shoot your best shot.
Ain't no
Shorty
shot
come
to
home.
shoot,
You just nah. You keep saying that. In this scenario, you shoot. You love her. You don't want her to leave. I understand you should be packing your bags, but you
Listen,
gotta go for it.
listen. Listen. I am a weak man, and that was on display today, and I apologize for that. If you never trust me again to lead this house, I understand because that was unacceptable. But what I am gonna do is start going to self-defense classes. I'm gonna buy a gun, and I'm gonna start going to the range, and hopefully somewhere in this process I can regain your trust because I'm sure that I've lost it. That's the most bullshit I can give you. That's the most bullshit I can give you off the top of my head. Cause bro, what? You jumped under the bed with your kid in the house?
Ev, what you got?
bro. You can't apologize. Like, all right,
Nah,
I'm
You
bro.
are you
All right,
pandering out? Is that a
not
pander break?
different. I'm at a loss for words of what, bro,
it's in the moment. That's why I asked it fresh. I didn't tell y'all this question. It's right now.
hey, I'm like,
You just
I didn't,
just open the door.
emotions are fleeting, honey. You know, and at the time, the emotion that I had was self-preservation. That was an emotion at the time, and I thought the authorities were better equipped to handle this. You see, I was right. And here you are back to me.
You trying to get it. You see, I was right off in this moment is insanity. Oh my goodness.
Shooters shoot. Ev says
Hey,
shooters shoot.
I mean, I'm just looking at the capabilities of in the moment with my self-preservation was my emotion at the time. And
I'm crying.
you see the voice elevation too, right?
But say you got to understand where I was at.
And you see, I thought the authorities would better be prepared to handle this as they were.
The quiver.
We're back together. I love you. Now we can work on us and
all right, Ray. What you got? What you got?
Yeah, you got to answer too.
Yeah,
These some nasty
man.
clips.
This is insane.
Hey. That was crazy. Yeah.
Oh, just ignore
that was crazy. So
no, because it's just like
the way
if she walked back in the house and you like, hey,
so
hey,
you're back.
Hey, missed you.
I understand how it looked, and I get it. I see it as an opportunity for us to do better because I thought we were on the same page. I thought we had the coordination and that was the meeting point. You know what? I realized that's on me because I could have clarified. We could have prepped ahead of time. That's on me because I thought you knew that was the spot, right? Because when I tucked them in, I said, hey, just in case something happens, you get down there, and it seems like they were aware. So I should have asked you. That's on me.
Ray is a psychopath.
Ray
is a psychopath.
But I'm happy. I can't believe you back, man. Like, shout out to them because we usually say we might have issues with them, but the police did their job. The police did their job, man. Shout out to them. I'm happy to see you. That was crazy, right?
You are a psychopath.
That was crazy.
Wait a minute. So
He went
So
from
let me get this
hey.
right.
He went from hey to I thought you knew.
What you?
But like, are you
Oh yeah.
saying like, wait, are you
So
saying like
No,
he
he's
shouldn't have been coming back?
he's subtly saying you kind of facilitated your kidnapping low key. Like you didn't peep game. We was getting under the bed. Like why you ain't get under the bed? That's pretty much what he just said.
because
You
you
are
got
you're different. You are
you just
different.
got home. We were
That's
under the bed, like Ev said. You were under the bed, bro. You heard the scoop. You heard the scoop, bro. You were my man's. My man's was under the bed. I'm gonna say your name too, bro. Wait, man. Jackson Rodriguez, sir. Since
this is some
You
Jack
Michael
failed.
Solvik was
Jackson in the
called out.
world.
Jackson Rodriguez, bro. He said he was under the bed
You
as
failed
it
that
happened.
day. You failed.
That's
Woo.
crazy,
You
bro.
failed. You
But
He's
gotta
that man
26.
said,
you gotta
hey,
clean that
To
up.
give full context. So what do you say? You was under the bed, man.
You can't say nothing. You gotta leave. You gotta leave.
that's what I'm like, bro. You
Yeah,
just
you
gotta
gotta get up
go.
out of there. Like it's no relationship no more, bro. You when shit like do you understand how like we know as men and women know there's like small fantasies about like yo if anybody ever kicked this
Yep.
dough, son.
Yep.
Like for us and our own little ego about it is yo, if some nigga ever kick this dough, son,
Wartime.
I'ma blow your ass back to the street. You know what time it is. And for them, they are like counting on, hey yo, if anybody ever kick that dough, cuz it's gonna blow them back to the street.
Mhm.
And somebody kicked the dough and you got under the bed and they got taken.
Like that's crazy.
You
That's
failed,
crazy.
bro. You gotta excommunicate.
That's
You gotta go.
Because
crazy.
You gotta
And
that
go
she
also
come
tells
back
me
with the kids.
because you stayed there long enough for them
for
to
them to
leave the
get.
house.
Come on, bro. You didn't even
So
try
you
to fight for
You
your
called the
kids.
police.
so my man's when you were able to go, is it safe? And the house was empty.
Come on, man.
So like,
You
did you
heard the
like?
door close. Like you heard the door close and like inched your way out from under
So
the
like,
Oh.
what
bed.
does that
Nah,
mean? Did he like think about that?
it's
Right when
nasty.
the door
Specific
closed, did
scenario.
you?
Specific scenario. Here's what happened. He was not taken as he hid under a bed when he heard the front door being broken down.
So you went straight to bit. You went straight to coward mode. You got
Man, that's a
straight
setup.
into I'm finna just run away from this. You got straight into flight. But he ain't fight, but he flew straight under the bed. Nah,
I'm gonna be real. Now
you
that you
failed.
say that, bro, I think Cuz did that purposely.
Oh, we ain't gonna put
That
that on
just
the
sounds
we
crazy,
can't put
bro.
that on his
I
jacket.
own it.
We can't put that on his jacket. We
That
can't do that.
sounds crazy. No, bro. As soon as you hear the door, it ain't protect nothing. It's
Hey, hold on. Real
Okay.
quick,
wanted
real
her
quick.
gone.
Hold on. Hey, I'm gonna start saying this in the front of the podcast, like for real. This is an entertainment show.
This is a joke.
Anything that we say is a joke. It is not to be taken seriously. If you are going to take it
He's pandering.
seriously, no, I'm not pandering. I'm giving us leeway so that nobody can sue us, brother.
Hey,
If you are going to take us seriously, I suggest that
I'm
you go
going.
verify with your own research. We are entertaining. This is in jest, and we are joking in most of these topics. You have to
At
figure
the
out
same
which ones we're
time,
being serious in.
at the same time, I just want to give ourselves some flowers the way that we just tied everything together because y'all watched us go from the discussion of understood masculinity and to
Yeah,
how
we all
he very
understood.
much
You're supposed to
failed
secure
in
that
his
house.
security role.
Yeah,
my,
failed.
my man went,
F, triple
nah,
F minus. Like
I'm
what?
cool. That boy, oh man, that boy ass. He said
What?
she get back.
Come on, man. You
Bro,
I
really
understand
you
it was
told
me.
Shorty she should have knew where
like,
the hiding
Cuz.
spot was. That's the
Because what do you
craziest thing I've
say?
ever heard.
What do you
But see,
say?
that's what I'm saying. Like, what do
She
you
just
say?
got back to the house. What
You
do you
don't.
say?
You don't. Ray tried to
My
set us up for
emotions.
failure.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that in this time and moment, my emotions
Ray tried to set us up for
emotions
failure,
are
man.
fleeting in times of like
Emotions are fleeting. It's
Hey,
crazy.
that was because Ev said, "You know, I'm working on me." You're like, I've been working.
I had to, you just lay it on the ground. Hey,
Where's
look,
the
bro, I fucked up.
where's
hey,
the grace?
you know, emotions are fleeting. I thought that the authorities could
Nah.
handle it properly, and they did.
And in conclusion, secure your house, secure your kids, secure your lady, like protect your home. And
In that
also,
moment,
watch your kids so that they don't cost you $100,000 during the NFL draft.
Hey,
or your
and
team 250,000. Your
I might
employer.
also, add, if your kid comes back home after getting kidnapped and he or she knew you hid under the bed,
You got to
in
take
that
out the
moment,
trash for the rest of your
no,
life.
they are allowed to say, "Fuck you, Dad."
Yeah.
Go on to
Yes.
their room
Yeah.
with no
they-
repercussions.
You like remember when Kevin Hart's dad got beat up and he was like, "Yeah, bro, stop yelling at me about taking out the trash." That's you in the house now. That's you. When it's time to, hey man, why these dishes ain't done?
But at
Excuse,
least Kevin Hart's dad fought. At least he tried.
you know what I'm
You know
saying?
what? No, my excuse is I wanted to pull a Liam Neeson, so you had to get took first.
All
It's just-
right,
the
all right.
cops
Listen,
beat
this
me to it.
this has
The cops
been
beat me to it.
this has
Because
been another
they didn't even know
episode.
what I was gonna do. They didn't even know.
Nah,
I was doing them the
They
favor
beat me
because you
to
know
it,
what I'm
man.
about. You know what
They
I'm
beat
about.
me
They
to
knew.
it.
I
hey,
didn't want
look,
you to
I was
witness.
waiting for the ransom call.
listen.
I will
Baby girl, I didn't
come
want
and
you to
find you.
witness, like, I didn't want you to witness that type of
I'm
violence
sorry.
because you know what would have happened. It was safer for them to take you because look at this carpet. Look at this. Like, we don't want no blood stains.
Hey,
All right.
Come on.
in the words of battle rappers,
Headshot.
Block.
This has been another episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. Episodes are dropping every Tuesday. We have more shows coming. They are on the way. They will be out as we get them done.
Mhm.
Episodes drop every Tuesday. Please give us a like, comment, and subscribe if you are on the YouTubes. If you are on the Spotify and Apple, add us to the library. This has been another one. I appreciate y'all. Real quick, shout out to Gifted Goddess. Shout out to the homie. Shout out Kaden. Appreciate you. We rocking you today. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, man. We up out of here. We appreciate y'all. Another week, my brothers. To our homie Rose. Get well soon, man.
well
You know what I'm
soon.
saying? Get well soon, my
Yes,
boy.
sir.
We out, y'all. We appreciate y'all.